Hope you guys are having a good Saturday. Oh, how's my light? My light is like way too close. Dogs have knocked this light down on my head so many times now. I get assaulted by that light a lot. Oh. Hold on. Hold on. See? Told you. Luckily, it's a very light light. It's a light. God. Which one of these is supposed to go on which ear? I don't even want to tell you guys what I'm pulling out of the earpiece of this. That is so gross. Oh, it's probably dirt. Frickin' dogs, man. Hold on. Hold on, we'll be there in a second, guys. Not stuff you want in your ear, I'll tell you that much. All the dog's fault. I blame Benny. I blame Benny. Oh, look, my stream deck is working now. Look at that. What's going on? Are we lagging today? Hopefully not. Spiderweb? Okay. All right. All right, where are we at? Where you at? See, that's not it. That's it. What's going on, guys? Let's see who's here today. Alan, what's going on? Etch, what's going on? How's everybody doing? Saturday night. Saturday nights are made for partying. Ruth from Canada. Thank you. Thank you for being here. You got to see me get assaulted by a freaking light. Pinkerbell. What's happening, Pinkerbell? We've got vertical streams. Yeah, we've got horizontal streams. We got Twitch streams. Got everything going on. Deep in the heart of Texas. I love you over there, Funkhauser. Thank you for being in Texas. Troll Slayer, Kevin, what's going on? All right. I'm in Top Chat, and Top Chat is almost nothing but Restream bot. Or, I'm sorry, Nightbot. Nightbot dominates. They're doing Nitro Circus motorcycle jumps at the White House today. Idiocracy. Of course they were. The prophecy. The prophecy has come true. We all know it. Idiocracy was a documentary. It was never a comedy. It was always a documentary, and we knew it. I mean, back when I was in my 20s watching that shit, I knew that shit was going to turn out to be a documentary. Like, we didn't even know Trump was going to be president back then, and I knew we were going to be going full idiocracy at some point. So, I mean, this kind of, at this point, to be honest with you, does not at all surprise me. Okay, can't see anything but Restream and Nightbot, even in all messages. I gotta calm down. Well, Restream is supposed to be that way. Restream quoting Nightbot is not supposed to be happening. The Restream posting the Nightbot from the vertical is kind of fucking things up. I'm gonna have to work on that. I did add the black background to the chat. Did that help on vertical? He hurts. Did that help out on the vertical stream? Let me know, because I added a black background behind the Restream chat to try to knock out all the other chat, so you don't have to. It's not here. No. We're weeks away from Brondo on the crops. How do you know it's not happening right now? You can't prove that they haven't started putting Brondo on the crops yet. You guys see those Pete Hegseth videos? Oh my god. With the wrists. Is he's like trying to lift? Like, how is a man in that... he's not in bad shape. Whiskey Pete, you know, looks like he's got... You know, it looks like he lifts a bit. But then you see him lift, and you're like, I don't think maybe it's TRT? You guys think it's just TRT? Brondo's what plants crave. We know that, Dan. We know that. I mean, the burrito coverings are pretty much gone, right? The burrito coverings are gone. There's no burrito covering. Shit's all fucked up. And this guy right here, not sure he's going to save us all. You guys ready for that?
Why is everyone so fucking stupid?
I got to change my my output here. There's way too much. I need a studio person. I need somebody to do this stuff for me. America, fuck yeah! He has fetal alcohol syndrome. Peter, you're not wrong. Oh, man. What do I have for idiocracy on here? I know I have some idiocracy on here.
Where's your tattoo? Why come you don't have a tattoo?
Yep. Dude, we are like right around the corner from tattoo, so I'm not getting a tattoo, guys. That's where I draw my line. I'm not getting a neuroplant, and I'm not getting a tattoo so that way people can fucking scan me, okay? He's likely mildly roided up. I'm going to guess he's at least on TRT. It's big in that faction, right? Look, and I've told you guys before, I have zero problems with TRT or Ozempic. It's your body. Do whatever you want with it, okay? You don't get to, you know, play baseball if nobody else gets take steroids. You don't either. But end of the day, you know, it's your body. You want to pump it full of TRT, you go for it. You want to take Ozempic, you go for it. But I'll tell you this right now. You don't get to act like you're natty. You're not natty, you're not natty. Okay? Either you do it without help or you do it with help. It's one or the other. All right. Well, we've got some videos tonight, guys. I'm actually going to try and watch videos tonight. My stream says we're on excellent. And so does this guy right here.
I love the poorly educated.
Okay. Musk is a great example of what taking extra testosterone does to you. Is he on TRT? Because if he's taking TRT, it's not working. You know, I don't know if you guys are big baseball fans, but Jason Giambi used to play for the Oakland Athletics. And back in the day, people would say, Jason Giambi's on roids. And I go, no way. Look at the dude. He looks like he's made out of Play-Doh. Turns out Jason Giambi was on roids. Well, allegedly. Allegedly. Don't sue me, Jason Giambi. Or Jeremy Giambi. Okay? Jason Giambi apparently, allegedly, was drinking heavily while doing roids. And what that does to you is you retain a fuck ton of water. And so dude's neck was gigantic. And his head was like, the man always looked like he was sweating a lot. Anyways, it just makes me feel like that's if Elon Musk is on TRT. If Elon Musk is on TRT, he ain't doing it right. That man looks like there is like an alien living inside of his chest cavity. All right? Like that's where I'm at with that. Okay, here, hold on. Get some of these things going on here because okay. We're going to be watching some stuff. Musk received a bunk roid batch. You think they like Musk is the mark? You think they just like sell him like drugs that aren't actually any good, and then like he's the guy that complains about it? Like he's the guy that you sell like an ounce of weed, but it's really only like a half ounce. He's too far down on the totem pole to say anything. Like he can't fight, so just gotta accept it. They definitely have tread on me daddy issues. Dude, Ruth. Like they are not beating those charges. Okay? These people love to be abused. It's why they come to my chat sometimes is because they don't get enough from their daddy Trump, so they come here every once in a while to get made fun of by me. It makes them feel like, you know, they're at home. Makes them feel good inside. They're like, yeah, this is just like my abusive relationship with the President of the United States of America that I voted for. Sigh. Clearly went too much supplemental testosterone does to you and compare it to the Musk with his shirt off. I don't want to look at Musk with his shirt off anymore. I've seen enough Musk with his shirt off pictures, I think, in my life. I don't think I ever need to see another Elon Musk shirt off picture. You know, it seems like I've probably seen enough. Golf. What's happening, golf? Can you sell him the bad stuff? Trump even compared the 92-foot steel tower being built on the lawn to the Eiffel Tower and said, maybe we'll never, ever take it down. Yeah, no. Earth homies. You know one of the funniest things about all this stuff? You know what the funniest thing about pretty much all of it is people always think Trump is joking. And his supporters defend it as Trump is joking. But the reality is Donald Trump is probably like, we don't have the money to take it down. Like Donald Trump generally defrauds the people that do the work on his buildings. There's a good chance that Donald Trump isn't going to pay the workers that put that shit up in the first place. Therefore, he's going to have a hard time getting it taken down. That's all I'm going to say. Am I ready for Daddy Trump's birthday? Speaking, Redonk's coming in with a tread on me energy, like right away. Personally, I hope he chokes to death on his fucking birthday cake, a la Joffrey. Wouldn't that be great? Like, I'm allowed to say that, right? Like, it's not a direct threat against someone's life. I'm just saying that if the cosmos were to line up, if Mercury perhaps were in retrograde, I don't actually know what that means. I might be using that inappropriately. But I'm just saying, what a birthday present to America if bro pulled a Joffrey at his own birthday party. How amazing would that become? Like, dude, we were just talking about this earlier. We were just saying, look at how people celebrated his name being taken off the fucking the Kennedy Center. Do you know how crazy people are gonna fucking party when, like, it happens? How long until we get to celebrate, guys? How long? I'm saying not long. Okay? Not long. I got a Newsmax commercial. It's because my horizontal or my vertical feed gets fed to Trump supporters because they have no attention span. They're all over on shorts. Like right now, I put a 5-minute on the subscriber chat, and I'm sorry for those of you guys that watch my show that just wanted to talk and have fun. I'm sorry to you guys. But I put a 5-minute on it because I just know how much pain that is for Trump supporters. Like, they like type out their whole fucking comment, and then it's like you have to wait 5 minutes, and they're like, I don't have that kind of attention span. Like, I just know that behind the wall of that 5-minute subscriber chat is a lot of Trump supporter frustration. And it just brings me so much pleasure. Oh, God. Are we making a Deadpool? I wanted to. Rev. I wanted to make a Deadpool. Can we do that? Is there a way to do that? Can we do that in Discord? Can we make a Deadpool? I think that should be fine. I think that should be okay. I don't think that we should be getting visits. Well, we should probably get visits from the FBI no matter what in this fucking administration. And annual unofficial national holiday is to celebrate that day. Perry, 1000%. How dare you test the limits of their sense of object permanence? Peekaboo. I get 17 minutes and 76 seconds. Oh, Jesus. That's good. That's good, Redong. That's a good one. For his birthday. You guys watch the video I made over on the Angry Ginger Funny Live Clips channel? I included footage from his last birthday party with the tanks. Bro, the tanks with the squeaky wheels, dude. Oh, God, that was amazing. And this time there might be thunderstorms. I'm going to be honest. I feel bad for the fighters because you guys know I'm a fan of UFC. Not of Dana White. I don't like Dana White. And I haven't really watched UFC in probably a year or so. It's not great. They're not making UFC great again. But you know, I like Ilia Topuria. I think he's a great fighter. There's some really good fighters that I enjoy that fight for the UFC still. But So I feel bad for them, but I do hope it's just an absolute shit show. Not even because like mad at Trump, just because it'll be the most amazing spectacle to watch. I heard a weather woman say, she was like, there's a chance of intense thunderstorms. And they said, well, what do they do if there are intense thunderstorms? And she said, well, I just hope that there are people on site that can quickly get people indoors, because those types of situations can be really dangerous. And I was like, bro, there is no way there's going to be people on site that are going to be able to get these people. Donald Trump, a man, started shooting at people outside of his little fucking presser, his correspondence dinner. And Donald Trump was like, nah, I just want to sit here and see what happens. I'm just saying, there is a high likelihood of God being like, you know what? I'm just going to take this into my own hands. Just one lightning strike right on that. What color does he turn? Burnt orange? I mean, he's already burnt orange, right? Like it's the burnt orange? Proof Charlie Kirk faked assassination. I'd have to look at that. Never seen it. Must takes estrogen blockers, which can cause fat buildup, joint weakness, and erectile dysfunction. All true. All true. Yeah, I make videos. Swear to God, Rev. I do. I don't just sit up here and talk trash all the time. Sometimes I make videos, bro. I'm a journalizer. Okay? I'm a journalizer. Very serious person. Very serious person. At least he didn't totally fuck the street up with the Abram tanks. This time, it's going to be humid as fuck. You know it, dude. Oh, you know Houston Alexander, Rev? You know Houston? I watched Houston. I watched Houston fight his first fight in the UFC. That's how old I am. I love Houston Alexander. People tell me I look like Keith Jardine. That's kind of the same era. Making this a championship fight is bullshit. Of course it is, redonk. They're literally just trying to like come up with something. It's Rome, dude. It's full of Rome shit. It's like the kind of stuff where you're just like, I don't know. Like, you're appealing to a massive amount of people that have low attention spans and almost no education at all, right? Like, all they want to see is two dudes punch each other, and that's it. Like, literally, Trump could have just gotten a couple rednecks to fight on the South Lawn, and these people would have been happy. But for Trump's own ego, it has to be championship fights. You know, Ilya Tapura versus Gaethje that's not a championship. Look, Justin Gaethje is a moron. He's been punched in the head a lot. All right, it's not his fault. Well, it could be his fault. He might have been a moron before that, but he's been punched in the head a lot. Okay, but dude's a really good fighter. He should not be fighting Ilya Tapura. That's it. That's just dumb. It's dumb. It's all dumb. It's all dumb. Josh Hockett versus Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis, last fight Derek Lewis was in, he got punched and gave up. I love Derek Lewis. But the man has no gas tank anymore. And that's going to probably be the biggest part of the shit show, is when Derek Lewis just circles the new fucking MAGA fighter, whatever his name is, Josh Hockett, the ex like KC offensive lineman or something like that. When he circles him for like half an hour, that's going to be... I wonder if they're going to do the thumbs down thing. Do you think they'll actually murder somebody in the ring? You've known him for decades? Dude, that's great, Rev. I love Houston Alexander. Come on, Lord. I'll settle for a locust for him. Yeah, Sean Strickland. What kind of world... Like, what backwards ass world do we live in when we are supporting Sean Strickland and Bryce Mitchell? What happened to this fucking world, dude? Well, I guess it's just a country. I mean, I'm sorry, Canada. You guys, this isn't your fault. What happened to this country all of a sudden, like, I'm agreeing with Thomas Massey and Marjorie Taylor Greene. And I'm like, Bryce Mitchell's making a lot of sense. Like, Sean Strickland standing up for people's rights. I'm like, what? The guy that likes to beat up YouTube influencers? One thing I'll say about Sean Strickland is Sean Strickland also might have brain damage. I think it might not totally be his fault. Bryce Mitchell grew up in a bad home. You can just tell. All right, I'm not making excuses for these people. I'm making excuses for me. Oh, dude. If it rains, it's mud wrestling. Cat, we can hope. What's up, AJ? You're coming to this freaking discussion late, but do you think fighters are showing up? Yeah, they'll show up. Like I said before, like last year, and I stand by this, Saquon Barkley jinxed the Philadelphia Eagles by getting put on the cover of Madden and then playing golf with Donald Trump. I said it at the beginning of the year. Go find a video from the beginning of the football season last year. I said it. I was like, you done fucked up, Ron. You done screwed us over. Now we're going to have the worst year. And what happened? We had the fucking worst year. Everything Donald Trump touches, he destroys. Even if it's just like by proxy. Okay? But athletes, look, they have a lot of head trauma. Brother, okay? AJ, these people they're not working with a full deck. Okay? They're good at throwing a football or running a football or punching dudes in the face. That's what they're good at. They're not great at decision making. So of course they're going to show up. These fighters are going to show up because they're like, I'm part of history. I like bad history. And they're like, well, I mean, history is history, right? You're like, no, bro. You don't want to be seen as that dude. Also, I have to say this for fighters because, they're just trying to make a goddamn living. They're probably getting paid pretty well for this. I'm going to say that too. They're probably getting paid pretty well for it. There's probably a lot of fighters that did turn it down. I know that a couple fighters did turn it down for sure. That said they wouldn't fight there. You like Diego Sanchez? I did too. He went crazy. He went cray-cray. Cray-cray. He went bad cray-cray. Did you say Jake Paul is in jail? Really? Odds on Trump showing up in a toga. Oh no, Bread and Circus's Ruth. He just doing it. Watching Sean cry on the Sean Ryan show was pretty sad. Dude has demons. I wouldn't want to fight him. Yeah, no, redunk. Like I try to say that. Like, Sean Strickland had a messed up childhood. Like, this is why when people are like, he says all kinds of crazy shit, I'm like, yeah, he's a messed up dude. He's not okay. He's not okay. He was luckily found a sport where he can take out his, childhood anger on other grown-ass men that are, consenting to said violence. So, I mean, whatever gets it out, brother. But yeah, he's not okay. Yeah, Sean Strickland is not okay. He's got a lot of shit going on. And, I grew up around all those people. It's you either come out of it a better person or you come out of it with a whole lot of baggage. And he came out with a whole lot of baggage. Dude, Monster Energy and Bud Light at the White House. Like, if you would have said that a year or two ago, no fucking way I would have believed that. No way. I wouldn't think that anybody would do that. If you were like, bullshit, Republicans would have done it. I mean, like, you're lying. Like, no. Look, George Bush Jr. was the closest to having Bud Light at the White House, right? But he had people around him that were probably like, no, we're not doing that, George. Jr., stop it. Stop it, Jr. We can't put Bud Light on the front of the White House, okay? But Trump just breaks all of that shit. He's like, we're going to put a Monster Energy, like, guarantee you that if they offered a branding, like an endorsement contract to the White House, Trump would fucking plaster the outside of the White House with endorsements. Tell me I'm wrong. Dude, I mean, Trump obviously is the most prolific self-promoter of all time. So if he could, he'd put Trump right across the front of the White House. But I mean, if he was given the chance, if somebody came to Donald Trump and they said, we'll give the government $40 million to slap Monster on the front of it. Monster Stadium. He'd do it in a fucking heartbeat. He sold Teslas off the fucking front lawn, dude. Where is it?
I love Tesla.
He sold Teslas off the front lawn. A Trump coin. I bet Trump tried to pay them with some Trump coin garbage. Redonk. Oh, dude, I bet. Oh, my God. Out here in the near far west, New Mexico, we're worried about fire damage causing us to use up all of our available water. Yeah, water's become a problem. Again. We need to get that guy back in here that wanted to fight me. He was all about the water. They walked the fighters down the stairs of the Lincoln Memorial with children tonight? Okay. All right. It's getting weird. Every fighter will be presented with a pair of gold Trump shoes and a lifetime supply of shame. Oh, Jake Lang. Yeah, Jake Lang is in jail. Yeah, Jake Lang and Chud the fucking moron are both in jail, and I couldn't be happier. There are good things that are happening nowadays, okay? There are good things that are happening nowadays. He hurts, loves the white monsters. Oh, dude. Oh, all those MAGA tools look the same. It's one of them Jakes. Oh, dude. What's up, DJ? You were getting weird? Just getting? Well, I mean, the bar changes every day, Ruth. I've been saying it for like 2 years, man. Oh, wait. This one's for Jake Lang. This one's for Jake Lang and Chud the Builder.
White males way up. White males have gone through the roof. White males way up.
Yeah. Through the roof. Through the roof. Dead Mouse called another DJ a Nazi for performing at a White House event. Fucking love that guy. Amazing. Good job, buddy. Why didn't they just make the J6 people fight each other? Like, that should have been... Come on, guys, be honest. That should have been part of their pardons, right? You get a pardon. I would have signed on to that. I would have signed on to it. If the J6 people had to fight each other to get their pardon, like, winner gets the pardon, but you got to knock the other guy out, right? Because, first of all, there was only, like, out of all of those, man, this is what always makes me sad about being a dude. Like, the vast majority of the dipshits that did that were dudes. So I'm sorry to, like, the 3 women that probably got prosecuted and sent to jail and then got a pardon, but you're going to have to fight a dude. I'm sorry. We'll pick the smallest dude we can find, okay? One of those women gets to fight the dude that stole the podium, okay? He didn't look like he was much of a tough dude, okay? I mean, obviously strong enough to lift a podium. Points in his favor. But that guy has to fight one of the women. How about that? Oh, man. All right. Jesus Christ. What is this country? What is this country? Didn't even get any goddamn Doge checks. Not a single tariff check. You know, at least in Trump's last administration, he gave us $600. Mind you, I feel like that prepped us for the backdooring that we're currently getting. Jesus Christ. There's never been a worse president. I don't give a shit. Franklin Pierce was a better president. James Buchanan was a better president. Andrew Johnson, better president. Fuck it, I said it. Andrew Johnson. Eat a dick. I said it. Better president. All of them versus Michael Fanone. Oh, there you go. There you go. In 2020, Trump lost and sent a mob to Capitol to keep power anyway? Yeah, well, actually, it was definitely a dude. Oh, I love you guys. Michael Fanone already fought off like 8-1. Fucking A, AJ. Fucking A. MTG as Macho Man Randy Savage. Or the Ultimate Warrior. I bet she does a good Ultimate Warrior. She kind of looks like Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Not gonna lie. Well, Well, it is what they know. A lot of backdooring on Epstein Island, I hear. Yeah, but we're all a lot bigger than they're used to. You got 7K from Biden. I got, like, from Obama, because buying my house and everything at that time, I probably got, like, 8K. My money I got from Biden, I turned into 12K. Because I did some stocking. I did some stock trading. That's where I learned the stock market. It was like 2018, just like the rest of retail traders. And that's why the stock market is fake now, because it's filled with a bunch of people that don't know what the fuck they're doing. And now, guys, I don't know if you know this, but day trading is legal now. Like, I think you only have to have, like, it used to be you have to have 20,000, but I think now it's like 7. And you could just day trade away. The stock market is going to be chaotic. Not that anybody's going to get to be able to trade in it except for super rich people and then a bunch of dipshits that are just giving their money to super rich people. But the stock market's about to get wacky. The same day before, a couple days before the SpaceX IPO, they made day trading completely legal. Coincidence? I think not. Handsome Harley Race. Fatty, that's pretty good. I was going to say Mr. Perfect as well. MTG kind of looks like Mr. Perfect. In the jawline, she looks like Mr. Perfect. Yeah, day trading is about as smart as gambling. Day trading is gambling. No, the bond market, Ruth, the bond market is done. This is like, these are the numbers that, like I said, I'm laughing. I'm up here laughing with y'all. I'm having a good time, but I already know how bad shit is. I know what happens when the bond market does what the bond market is doing. And I'm not talking about America's bond market. I'm talking about the global bond market. Things are not okay. And this, the whole war with Iran, the crashing of the global bond market, inflation, once again, what was it, 4.2 or 4.8 now? Like, when you see the government start to manipulate the statistics that are coming out and start to change how they're doing, no, we don't want to do PCE anymore. We want to do core PCE now. That's how we're going to tell people about numbers. Oh, no, like, actually, we're not going to report the jobless numbers. We're just reporting the jobs added. That's it. You know, like, that's when you know the fire is coming. Like, it is, you can see the fire. And you are still in your house with your bags unpacked. The bond market is crashing globally. The countries like China, Japan are selling the bonds here in America, and they are buying gold. You should be like, this is going to be bad. But whatever they want to go with. Do I have any grocery advice or predictions? Shit's going to be bad. Yeah. If you want my, like, real, actual opinion on grocery prices, here it is. Grocery stores like Kroger's, Walmart, Costco, they're all going to tell you that they're refunding your money, that they're putting their money, that they got their refunds from tariffs back into the pricing, and that they're going to drop, and that they're going to take care of people. That's all marketing. Because all of these vendors have already shrinkflated these items. Nobody is going to increase the size of their packaging in the near future, and they've already decreased the size of the packaging probably between 3 and 4 times since the beginning of COVID. And obviously, shrinkflation has been going on for a very long time. But just over the past decade, let's say the past decade, grocery vendors, distributors, brands have shrunk their packaging 3 to 4 times, and they have increased the prices on those products year over year over year over year. The price per ounce on all of these goods is way higher. This is why dumbass Trump supporters can't figure out. They're like, no, the price on my Ritz are still the same. Like, yeah, and you get 2 less sleeves, you moron. Like, Jesus Christ, this drives me nuts. If you could just, like, for 2 seconds, focus on something. Just focus on something for 2 seconds. Read a fucking article. Get out of your bullshit and recognize that you are getting screwed over. But they won't. So for those people that actually have brain cells left in their head, my prediction on what's going to happen is inflation at 4.8%. Or 4.2%. I think the price PPI right now is 6.6, I want to say. So 6.6 is, or PPI is an indicator for the future, right? Because that's what wholesalers are paying to produce products. That is downstream. You or upstream. You have not seen the price increases that are going to come from the 6%. So you already had tariffs that increased prices. Consumers paid something like 90% of all the tariffs. You have had inflation when Biden left office is 2.9. Now it's 4.2. And it doesn't matter when they say, oh, well, that's just because of energy. It takes gas to produce every single product. It takes oil to produce every single product. When they're like, oh, don't worry about that's just energy. That's literally like, just don't look at reality and just listen to my words. Grocery prices are going to continue to go up. Walmart, Kroger's, Costco, they're going to sell to you that they're reducing prices. They are going to reduce prices throughout their stores. But those prices are going to be reduced on products that you're already getting a smaller amount of. The reason that it feels so bad when you walk into a store and buy groceries and you're like, why does it feel like I'm making a bad financial decision to eat? And you can't put your thumb on it because you're like, well, I'm still getting the Ritz, still getting my thing of chicken, I'm still getting my produce. But it seems more expensive. It's because you're getting less. It's because you're going through it faster. It's because the price has gone up. Just like with gas, I've told you guys this before. They raise gas prices to $6, and then when it hits $4.50, you're like, thank God! $4.50, we're back to $4.50. But nobody wants to talk about going back to $2, $1.75, because you know you're not going to ever get that ever again. What's your car insurance look like nowadays? What's your home insurance look like nowadays? What does your energy look like nowadays? What does your rent look like nowadays? If you answered any one of those questions with, it got cheaper, I need some information from you on who you're talking to or where you're getting it from. Because there is nothing at all in this country right now that is getting cheaper. Because even if you're saying, well, let's take eggs, for example. People will say things like, well, eggs are cheaper. They're still not as cheap as they were in 2020. When you say they've gotten cheaper, you're using that as a comparison to the time when the avian flu was decimating flocks of chickens. You're not comparing that to the times when eggs were actually cheap. You're comparing it to the last catastrophe. Like, well, at least they're not $11 anymore. Anyways, sorry for that's my rant. You asked me about groceries. You know, if you ask me about groceries, I'm gonna lose my shit because it just drives me nuts. It drives me nuts, dude. Yeah, they're exactly. They just celebrate because the hot dog bun ratio is evening out. Oh my God. That is so true. That's all it takes, man. That's all it takes. You can still get a gallon of decent ice cream at Walmart at an okay price. 5 dozen, $7.50 if you got room for 5 dozen. Yeah, so, and here's the thing about that. So I'm going to explain to you something about, let's talk about groceries again. If you don't know what a signpost item is an item that you buy in a grocery store that you're going to remember the pricing for, right? So there's studies that go into all of this stuff. I know, I read them. I work in grocery. I use this shit. So, signpost items are items that you remember the prices of. So you remember the price of bread, you remember the price of eggs, and you remember the price of milk. Generally, what you're going to find, and then like certain impulse items that catch your eye, that make you happy, right? You're going to remember probably up to like 6 products, and you're going to remember the pricing on those products. Because when you go in any other store, you're going to look at the price of those products while you're inside the store. And if those products are cheaper than the products at the other store that you went to, you're going to almost immediately, some people are better about this, almost immediately believe that that store is cheaper than the other store. A great example of that is Whole Foods. There's a really good documentary on Whole Foods. I forgot what it's called, but if I find it, I'll try to link it to you guys sometimes. But there's a great documentary on Whole Foods where they ask the guy, they go, do you have cheaper products in your store? And the guy goes, yeah, we have cheap products. We have the 365 brand. We have generic organic products throughout the store. We carry like Back to Nature, other products that are really cheap. He goes, yeah, there's cheap products. He goes, so do you think you're ever going to beat the stigma of being whole paycheck? And he goes, no, because no matter how many cheap products we put throughout the store, people are always going to think of us as being more expensive because that's what they believe, right? Now, on the other hand, you have Trader Joe's. Now, that's the exact opposite of that. So Trader Joe's is depicted as being this place where you go and you get 3 avocados for $2. And since people don't do a lot of math, they don't know whether or not the 69-cent avocado at the other store is almost exactly the same price or less than the 3 for $2 avocado. So the way that they package it makes it feel like you're always getting a discount. Or you go in and you see these gigantic end caps and they have great deals on them. And you say to yourself, man, this store is cheap. So when Golf brings up the ice cream, that's what they're doing. Is you put EDLPs, you cheapen certain products so that way people, when they go into places, don't notice that the majority of the prices in your store are more expensive. And now there's always exceptions to the rule. You go in a Dollar General, you're generally going to see almost everything there's cheap except for certain like sundries and stuff like that are probably going to be more expensive. I don't know a lot about Dollar General. I know that they're up like 27% right now because people don't have any money. I'll give you one more fact before we start watching videos. Here's one more thing for you guys. So generally the way you're going to know that the economy is really doing badly is by seeing the purchasing habits of the upper middle class. Not quite the wealthy or the ultra wealthy, because most of those people are capable of taking hits to their pocketbook. That's why sales tax is a regressive tax, because it disproportionately impacts lower middle class and middle class people. It doesn't affect as much the upper middle class people. Once again, that's actually why you're hearing Ron DeSantis now talking about taxing the rich in Florida. Crazy. Ron DeSantis is going socialist. So anyways, what you see when you have upper middle class people purchasing down is you know that the economy is not doing great. So during COVID, what you saw from people, upper middle class people, was you saw them buying in bulk, and you saw them purchasing private brands. In other words, 365 at Whole Foods or like Safeway's O brand, things like that. When you see people going down to the generic brands or store brands, private brands, that's when you know that the economy is starting to suffer. So Dollar General does well during that time. The grocery outlet does well during that time. Anything that's in the dollar channel. When you want to talk about retail stuff, you talk about clothing. TJ Maxx is doing really good right now. Ross is doing really good right now. I can't really speak to much on the East Coast because I don't know too many of their stores over there. But all of those stores are doing really, really good. They're called off-price stores, right? So when you know that the economy is fucking terrible is when people stop going down a brand and go down a store. And that's currently what's happening. And that's why Dollar General sales are so good right now, is because people are now choosing to no longer shop at what they consider their favorite store. So if it's a Rayleigh's or it's a Save Mart or it's a Safeway or it's a Kroger's or whatever it is, wherever they usually go to because they feel the most comfortable there, that's where they can find their products. They know the people that shop or work there. They enjoy the environment, whatever their one thing is that they like doing that for. Those people are now choosing to go to Dollar General. Those people now are choosing to go to grocery outlet. And the reason that they're doing that is because shit is fucked up. And that, like I said, when you talk about the bond market, those are the indicators. I try to tell Trump supporters this under Biden's economy when they kept coming in and saying, oh, it's so bad, it's so bad, it's so bad, it's so bad. And they couldn't tell me why it was bad. And I'm like, that's the problem, is you guys, you feel like it's bad, but you don't want to spend 5 minutes thinking about why it's bad and whether or not the current administration's policies are helpful or hurtful to you and whether or not the cause behind it. So something like Biden's Chips and Science Act was actually really good because it was going to provide a lot of jobs in the chip industry, which they are now, by the way. providing a lot of jobs to people in the chip industry with a not a basic education, but you don't need a PhD, right? If you're a person right now in this economy and you feel like things are bad and you want an explanation for why they are, you can directly point towards things in this presidency that are causing it. And the most important one right now is the Strait of Hormuz being closed, because 4 months, 6 months from now, when the oil impact really hits America, when Donald Trump's pride doesn't allow him to make the deal necessary to get the strait back open, when that happens, the price of groceries are going to go up. They're already going up. The price of energy is going to go up. It's already going up. The price of gas is going to go up further than it is now, because it's being squashed down right now by people doing the best they can. In fact, China actually is helping us out right now because of the fact that they haven't started purchasing oil. They're still using their oil reserves. If China was purchasing as much oil as they need right now, if they weren't using their strategic oil reserves, oil prices would be through the fucking roof. Things are going to get more expensive. And if somebody says to you, well, hold on, how is that this administration's fault? You can point to one thing. I can point to others as well, but if you want just one solid thing to point at, you can point at the war in Iran and go, that was the stupidest idea that any president has ever had, and it's going to go down in history as one of the most embarrassing and shaming decisions that an American president has ever made. That's crazy. Address the issue of lettuce 30 cents a leaf. Where are you buying lettuce for 30 cents a leaf? Why are you buying it for a leaf? Oh, Wegmans. Oh, yeah, Wegmans. What's up, mountain bike fan? Sorry, I was ranting. Dean. Yeah, you're back, Dean. Well, that sounds like a lot of work, so I just blame minorities. Redonk. Oh, guys, I'm sorry. Somebody, who was it that asked me the question about groceries? I should have just started a grocery channel. All I wanted to do was make fun of Trump supporters, though. It was fun. I was just having a good time, and I got sucked into this. Yeah, if you guys want to talk about groceries, I can talk about groceries for the rest of my life. Dude, it's bad. I'm sorry. It's bad. Okay. What's happening, Shanzi? Let's watch some videos. Jesus Christ. Alright, I just want to watch this video because this shit makes me sad. Alright. What happened to Joe Rogan, guys? What happened? Because it feels like, this is so weird for me, it feels like we had a completely opposite trajectory. Like, I grew up and kind of had these misconceptions of like what made me successful and how I got to where I was, and was I wouldn't say I was conservative. I've always felt like everybody deserved equal rights. Always felt like you can love whoever the hell you want to. Never had a problem with minorities. But I definitely had more like conservative opinions about how to like become successful, like work hard, pull yourself up bootstraps kind of bullshit. And, in 2015, 2016, when Bernie was, kind of becoming really popular, I was like, nah, nothing about this guy, like his opinions are pipe dreams. Of course, it was mostly because of my lack of education. I'd never actually like looked into anything that Bernie said or paid any attention to anything that Bernie, espoused. I kind of always thought like everything Bernie said was just like pipe dreams and he didn't have plans. And then over the years, I paid more attention. I've watched speeches, I've seen him in interviews, I've listened to him like talk about how he would accomplish these things. And I was like, wow, this guy really knows what he's talking about. Like, he actually has like, facts, statistics, and like logical plans to accomplish the things he wants to. And so I become more and more of a Bernie Sanders supporter, and I found myself, leaning more and more towards democratic socialism, as many young people actually are now. But Rogan is doing the opposite. Rogan started as a Bernie supporter, and now apparently apparently, I see this video that says that Joe Rogan is smearing Bernie Sanders. What the fuck is going on? So, is it just dudes getting paid too much money? Like, he's got audience capture, right? All the Trump supporters love
Real
him now.
secular talk fans will know.
Like, is that what it is? Oh, yeah, Kyle used to actually be okay with Rogan, too. Dude, it's so weird. It's so weird. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. Tell me if it's too low, okay?
That I was the one who hooked up Bernie Sanders and Joe Rogan back in the day when he went on his podcast when he was running for president. Little did I know that would actually cause a lot of controversy, and that was sort of like, in left-wing circles, that was at the time very controversial, right? Because, people went and dug up old things Rogan said and, used that to be like, do you even want, why would you even want this guy's endorsement? So anyway, but they had a good conversation, and I think Bernie genuinely converted a lot of Rogan voters at the time to be to support him, right, and his worldview. And I believe Bernie's been on 2 or 3 times in total on Rogan's show. Now, the problem is Rogan over the years has gotten worse and worse. He's become more and more and more right-wing. Now, they've debated like maybe 1 or 2 issues over the years, but by and large, when he's sitting across from Bernie, it's just like he just sits there and nods in agreement and takes whatever points Bernie makes and he adds to it. But here's the thing. Joe Rogan is two-faced. So, when I used to go on the show, I've been on.
The thing about Rogan, and I saw this, I was watching the Eco Rules girl the other day, I think last night actually, and she was talking about Rogan and like how he changes his opinions all the time. Rogan is Play-Doh. He's literally Play-Doh. Like, whoever comes on his show just molds him into whatever shape they want him to be. And I don't think that that's a positive. I think back in the day when he was talking to some really like intelligent, educated people, like physicists, psychiatrists, psychologists, historians, stuff like that, like, it seemed like it was a really good thing that he was like, ingesting this information, and he would kind of, talk about it later. And, it seemed like that was a good thing. But you can see where somebody that accepts everything that they hear from the person across from them in the best faith possible, and then allows that to kind of mold them into being who they are as a person, that's not a good thing. Like, that's actually a really bad thing, and it actually can lead to some really bad results. So, when he says two-faced, I'm not even sure that he's two-faced. I just think that that's Joe Rogan's personality. I think Joe Rogan, literally, whoever is directly in front of him at that time is going to be the person that he agrees with the most, because I to be honest with you, I don't think that he actually has thoughts of his own anymore. Or maybe he never did.
5 or 6 times, and I would give one worldview, he'd nod along in agreement, then within the next 3 months, he'd have on fucking Ben Shapiro or Steven Crowder, and he'd nod along in agreement with their right-wing horseshit, which is the exact opposite of everything I said. So he's always been a little bit two-faced, but this has got to take the cake for some of the most two-faced shit I've ever seen. So here Joe is
disappointing, isn't it?
Completely turning on Bernie Sanders and smearing him. And
is this going to make me sad? This is going to make me sad, isn't it?
And I'm going to show you this, then I'll compare it to the stuff he used to say. Here we go. Let's watch.
Listen, Gavin Newsom in any other world could easily be a Republican. Okay, if we were living in the 1990s, he might have been. Like, this is nonsense. Like this, like his.
That's actually kind of true. Just left of center, establishment Democrat.
Perspectives on things is about personal gain. It's about his campaign and his image, and that's why when he addresses any of the issues with California, he always goes into this pre-planned speech about we're the biggest tech sector, we're number 4 in the world, and the world economy starts moving his hands around. He's got a little fucking voodoo dance he does, because it's not really about addressing the situation. It's about framing it in a very positive way. So
no, that's actually not true. I love how when people do this. When Gavin Newsom is talking about, and look, Gavin Newsom has his faults as well. When Gavin Newsom talks about the tech sector and about how successful California is, like, that's actually really important that he's talking about those things. That's not obfuscating from the fact that there are negatives in the state of California. That is pointing out that not everything about California is negative. In fact, many things in California are very, very positive. When people talk about, oh, well, Tesla left California, or all of these people are moving to Florida. Like I said, by the way, Ron DeSantis now is talking about taxing the shit out of all of those rich people coming to Florida. Why is he doing that? Because when you have rich people that live in the areas that you live in, your property values go up. When your property values go up, the rent that you pay goes up. Having a bunch of rich people live in your state is not a great thing. You want a balance. It is very important in a state that has 39 million people in it that people get up and leave, because if they don't, there is no housing. If all the rich people stay, the housing is unaffordable. There's many places in the state of California right now that have exactly that problem. When somebody like Gavin Newsom says something along the lines of, well, actually, when big companies leave, it's a good thing because we start up a bunch of new companies. There's workers that are freed up that then get to come to work for these small startup companies, and then those companies grow, and then those companies move away too. That's okay. We're all right with it. We're good with being the farm league for the rest of the United States of America because we're still the 4th largest economy in the world. When people say dumb shit like this, it just exposes how dumb you are. When someone attacks the state of California and says, oh, everything there is so bad, oh, the taxes, like, you're not taking into consideration the amount of positives that the state provides. And when somebody points them out and you go, oh, they're obfuscating, they're avoiding the question. No, they're not. They're just telling you that you're positioning this as an argument that everything in the state of California is terrible when that is not true.
He looks good so that he moves forward. And that's what he wants to do.
And you're starting to see him come closer to center now, being opposed to the billionaire tax and other things like that.
Look at the framing. That it's closer to the center to oppose the billionaire tax, even though 70, 80, maybe even 90% support the billionaire tax. No, the center position is to be pro-billionaire tax. The reason Newsom did it is because he sold out to corporate interests and billionaires in the same way that Joe Rogan sold out to billionaires, because Joe Rogan is now buddy-buddy with the Epstein class. He hangs out with Peter Thiel. He hangs out with Elon Musk. He texts with J.D. Vance. He texts with Donald Trump. He loves Mark Andreessen, okay?
Yeah, and that actually, what Kyle just did there was a solid criticism of Gavin Newsom. And that is a very solid criticism of many established Democrats, people that would have been, a Bill Clinton style or Obama style, people that generally tend to have left-wing ideology as far as being pro-choice. We're talking about things like, increasing the federal minimum wage, which they never do, things like that. But the way that Gavin Newsom buddies up to big, corporate interests in California is not okay. It's not okay. That's a solid criticism.
Spare me with this stuff.
They're fucking leaving.
They're leaving, but a lot of the,
that's a total lie. Zoran has raised taxes on billionaires. None of them left. He raised taxes on the rich. None of them left. In fact, the opposite, more coming in. It's a fucking lie sold to you by rich people so that you don't tax rich people.
Exactly.
Okay? Period. That's it.
one running for governor on the left was okay with the billionaire tax, but since he's going to be eyeing for president, he needs to be a little more sane. And pretty much every independent report
that is going to hurt him massively. So he miscalculated.
Says yes, it'll capture tens of billions quickly, but it'll lose hundreds of billions over the long term because
total lie, made up completely by rich people, so you don't tax them.
The wealth that you tax on a yearly basis is just leaving.
It's not just that; it's a slippery slope. It might start with billionaires. It'll work its way down.
Slippery slope fallacy. Oh, my favorite. I love slippery slope fallacy. Guys, you should be really, really, really concerned because they're going to be coming for you next. First, they tax people on capital gains of over $100,000. Next thing you know, they're taxing you on the $37 you made day trading today. Like, this is the shit that just drives me nuts. It's like, if we're going to have this opinion that we're never going to change or try to fix anything because eventually it might lead to us being harmed by it, then we're never going to go anywhere. We might as well throw in the towel. Might as well wave the white flag. It's over. The deed is done. The world has moved on and we're in trouble. We might as well just give up. That is stupid. You have to be able to talk about these things in a way where you say to each other, I'll give you an example. When I'm in a meeting and I have an idea for something, generally there's going to be 2 or 3 people inside of that meeting, and every one of them are going to point out the negatives or possible negative consequences of my idea, right? So let's say I say, from now on, I think that, we should give away a free item, free soda with every person that purchases a product in the store. Someone's going to say, well, hold on, we sell soda. So isn't that going to cannibalize the sales of that soda? And I'm going to go, yeah, that's a possibility. Our sales on soda may go down. Well, hold on. What if people come to the store and all they do is buy one candy bar? Did those people get a soda too? Yeah, everybody gets a soda. Well, isn't that going to end up being like a net negative? Possibility. If 1,000 out of 1,000 people buy a candy bar and that's it, it was a bad plan. Okay? But the thing about that is after those 2-3 people all put forth their negatives about what could possibly go wrong, I say to every person in that room, I go, we're going to do it anyways. We're going to do it because we want to see what we can do with this. And then as we go, we will manipulate things a little bit, change things up, and either it works out as intended from the very beginning, or we're going to make it work as we go. Because when you have an idea and that the premise of that idea is solid, has a solid foundation, you don't allow fear to stop you from implementing it. No, you put forth your idea, you work with that idea, and then you go from there. You do not allow fear to paralyze you. And that is exactly what's happening right now.
It'll work its way down to thousandaires.
Yeah.
Joe, Donald J. Trump cut taxes on billionaires and raised them on thousandaires. That's what he did. The bottom 90% effectively got a tax increase. Mm-hmm. The top 1% got a tax decrease and subsidies on top of that. Okay, and it was under Trump's first term
subsidies
that the billionaires started paying a lower effective tax rate compared to a working class American. That was in Trump's first term, and here he flips it, acting like the people who want to raise taxes on the billionaires also want to raise the taxes of people who have no fucking money. No, quite the opposite. Usually the people who want to raise taxes on the billionaires want to do that so that we can have more social services for those people at the...
Wait, why are we hiding Dan? Why are we on hiding Dan? Don't hide Dan. Did Dan just catch a stray? Oh, sorry, Dan. I think I unhit him. That was just a misclick. Poor Dan. Sorry, buddy.
Bottom. Give them healthcare, give them education, give them higher wages, right? He's got it completely backwards. No, the beloved Republicans that you support so much are the ones who raise taxes on working people, you dipshit.
Taxes typically have.
They always do. As soon as and also they have the ability to change the goalpost once the bill gets passed. The bill gets passed. They don't have to have you vote on who gets taxed more. And we can just decide.
What are you talking about? No, whatever it says in the bill is what it is. And by the way, that's always been the case. You don't get to pass a bill that says one thing and then decide, I want to change who I'm raising taxes on and who I'm not raising taxes on. No, that's not how it works. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
And we can just decide. Idea. Like Bernie Sanders used to rail against millionaires. It always used to be millionaires. All these millionaires, that's the problem. They're not paying it. And now it's...
Well, yeah, dipshit. Holy Christ. No way Joe Rogan is this dumb. Okay, there's a chance he is. How long ago was that? How long ago was it? The idea of people spontaneously just becoming billionaires nowadays, the amount of billionaires has gone up massively. Yeah, at one point, when X amount of dollars is how much you need to survive, right? Like to live a comfortable life, to buy groceries, to pay for your gas, to own a car, to have savings. When that amount of money was X, and the amount of money that was considered ultra wealthy at that time was millions of dollars, yes, you would rail against the millionaires at that point. Now, being a millionaire doesn't actually make you ultra wealthy anymore. People, like if a person retires with $1 million, $2 million in their account, generally that's not always considered enough money to live comfortably for the rest of their life, retired. You have to understand that things change, numbers change, ideas change. And if you have this opinion that like, oh, he said this back in the day and now he can't say this now, you're never going to be happy with what Bernie Sanders is going to do or is doing.
Billionaires. Why? Because Bernie's a millionaire now.
You are completely and utterly full of shit, and you swallowed whole a dumbass right-wing talking point. No, Joe. The fact of the matter is, every single tax proposal Bernie has ever put out there also raises taxes on millionaires. He still supports raising taxes on millionaires.
Yeah.
He just supports raising it on billionaires more.
Exactly.
And the reason he adjusted his language to say millionaires and billionaires to just billionaires is because idiots like you go out there and go, well, maybe you shouldn't tax the millionaires more because I'm actually a millionaire and I don't want to pay more taxes.
Yep.
So he has to adjust to people like you and your low IQ interpretation of what he's saying, and that's why he leads with billionaires. But again, every proposal he's actually ever released raises taxes on both millionaires and billionaires, but it raises it more on billionaires. Jesus. You would think that since he sat across from Bernie 2 or 3 times, he wouldn't, like, accuse him of being, like, fucking Weasley, and he wouldn't accuse him of having some, like, secret motivation, which is nefarious. But here he is. He's doing exactly that. This is how far gone this guy is. The guy who fucking endorsed Donald Trump, hangs out with all the fucking Epstein-class billionaires, giggles on the phone with Donald Trump. Turns out he's smearing Bernie Sanders even though he knows him decently and has talked to him 2 or 3 times. What a sick fuck.
These millionaires, that's the problem. They're not paying and now it's billionaires. Why? Because Bernie's a millionaire now. It's adorable. It's adorable in its transparency.
Wow. He's so far gone. Dude, that is crazy. That is pretty sad, dude.
But like these fucking kids don't understand.
It's literally like get off my lawn type. Get off my lawn, man.
Yeah, he did it. He did it. He did the old man thing. He said these fucking kids don't understand. Oh. You know, I said that hopefully, you know, the thunderstorms, hopefully, you know, the big guy upstairs does us a favor and Joffrey's King Trump, you know, if he took Rogan too, I would not shed a fucking tear.
Fucking kids don't understand. Really, Joe?
Wow.
They don't understand.
Wow.
I don't know, son. It kind of seems to me like maybe you're the one that's out of touch. You know, hanging out over there in Austin with Elon Musk and Peter Thiel and Mark Andreessen and fucking Mark Zuckerberg and every fucking billionaire who you bring on your show to coddle their nutsack and suck their dick from the back.
Giant number of kids today that come out of the university system that think that communism is the solution.
Oh my word. Is he actually arguing that universities are all trying to push communism? Are you seriously arguing universities are pushing communism? Oh my god.
Genuinely believe in it.
Yeah,
it's very scary. Because you're literally saying, first of all, how does that get enforced? How do you think it gets enforced? How does it work? Who tells the people that they have to?
Notice he's arguing against a total straw.
Bro, he's scared. That's what it is. He's scared. Joe Rogan's scared. I told you, man. You see these videos now, you hear Jeff Bezos trying to toss you a line with, what if we gave you an extra $1,000 a month, man? What if you guys just left us alone and let us have our billions while you guys have another 1,000? How's that feel, bro? How's that feel, man? Yeah, the roads will go to shit and your education will be non-existent and, you know, things will be bad, but you'll have another $1,000. So, like, that's going to make you happy, right? It's going to make you happy? Like, they're scared. And I think Joe Rogan's scared. Like, if you really think that universities are teaching communism, okay, so let me say this, I guess. So many of these people don't know the difference between socialism, communism, liberalism. They don't know the difference between the different, like, subsects of each of these. Just like if you were to, you know, say something like conservative versus MAGA, right? Like, obviously, not every conservative is a part of MAGA, you know, or a libertarian. That's an even better example. Libertarians, conservatives, and MAGA. There's going to be differences between each one of those groups and what they believe. The chance that there are professors within the university system that believe that communism is, you know, something that can work, or, you know, or that Karl Marx was, you know, pretty based and, you know, true. Like, yeah, of course, there's going to be some of everybody. There's going to be conservative professors that also, preach certain things. There's going to be people that are conservative or that are professors that, believe that Israel is in the right, and Palestine is filled with terrorizers. There's always going to be certain individuals that can apply to. But if you think that academia as a whole has like gone down the route of they're all going to be communists, like, first of all, the communists are going to tell you that that's not true. The people that are on the side of communism are going to be like, nah, that's not true. And then the people that are on the side of socialism are going to be like, yeah, I don't think that's true either. And I know these people don't go to these colleges, but it's just like a wild exaggeration of what is actually going on within the educational system at that level.
Lefty here. A straw lefty young person who supports communism because the university told them to support communism, something that doesn't happen and doesn't fucking exist. Do universities lean left of center? Yes. Are they communists? Not by a fucking long shot.
To give up their money and their property.
Yeah, it's more like left of center. Exactly. It's more liberal. I would say universities probably tend towards more of a liberal tilt because of the fact that many liberals are highly educated. So, and it's like you got to also remember that classic liberalism, okay, is the idea that you're just pretty much do whatever you want as long as it doesn't harm somebody else. So it's very libertarian, right? These words obviously share a root for a reason. So if you're talking about a liberal, then you're going to be probably talking about somebody that is left of center. So if he were to say, well, a lot of these, universities are very liberal, I could understand that and I agree with it. But if you were like, as a conservative, if you're just a conservative, if you're panicking over the fact that, universities are teaching like establishment liberal ideology, that's literally what like Clinton was doing or what Obama did. Like, it's not scary. It's not scary at all.
The fucking government. And then who's holding the military and the property? The government. Oh, so the people with the guns? Oh, so you want a military dictatorship, essentially, to be able to control...
Says the guy who supported Donald J. Trump. And now you're fear-mongering about a left-wing military dictatorship when it's Donald J. Trump building fucking concentration camps and shoving innocent immigrants in there? He has his own Gestapo. He has his own paramilitary. They're doing abductions and human traffickings, and they're engaged.
Trump did socialism. The government bought shares of Intel. Like, why is it like, oh man, if these guys do it, it's super scary, but if Trump buys shares of Intel, it's totally cool.
Engaged in sex trafficking, and they're a bunch of fucking criminals, and they're assaulting senior citizens and shit like that. And you're worried about a left-wing military dictatorship when you helped usher in a right-wing dictatorship.
Yep.
Fuck you.
All the finances, who...
Yeah, remember when they're all worried about the surveillance state? Remember when all these people were Edward Snowden? Like, they were like, oh, Edward Snowden Trump needs to pardon him. Trump needs to bring Edward Snowden back. Literally, there's flock cameras going up around the fucking country. Oregon now has cameras for speeders now. Like, the surveillance industry is booming under Donald Trump, and these people were like, well, if you're not doing anything wrong, then you got nothing to worry about. Oh my God.
I love the poorly educated.
Who owns a home? Who owns a farm? Where the food comes from? You think that's a good idea?
It's never worked. I don't know why they're for it.
Ever. There's not even a mildly decent version of it out there that you can go, well, they're not as good.
So what you're going to see here is Joe Rogan is going so far and is being so annoying that even his fellow right-wing guest here has to try to pump the brakes and reel him in a little bit because he knows Rogan has done nothing but build a massive straw man and then beat it down with his little nub arms.
It's us, but it's not too bad.
I'll give them some credit. I'll give them a little bit of grace. Sure, I think they're a little retarded, but I'll give them some grace. A lot of times when you ask them, those people that come out of college, what communism is, they think it's like Scandinavia.
Okay.
No, the people who come out of college know what communism is, and they know that Scandinavia is social democracy, and they also know and are correct that social democracies are just objectively superior to our fucking capitalist hellscape that only allows people like Joe Rogan to win.
Socialism, that's how they define it. Not like very literal, and those aren't socialist countries anyway. All their programs are funded on capitalism.
All of their programs are funded on capitalism. Oh no, What are we doing? What are we doing? Those countries are more socialist and they work better. And people self-report being happier. And they have better education systems and better healthcare systems and more paid time off by law and higher wages. And
which are all social systems, which is why it's called socialism.
This stuff is not debatable. But they can't. They're twisting themselves into pretzels. Capitalism is good. Right-wing stuff is good. Right-wing. We love right-wing stuff. It's not because Joe Rogan is.
Actually, I love this country. I hate these people.
Now worth hundreds of millions of dollars and is friends with the entire Epstein class of Republican politicians, right?
It's taxed through the income that's earned on capitalism. So I'll give him that grace. But no, it is true that many people are viewing communism in general as more favorable.
Yeah.
And we know college is also very politically captured.
Now, by the way, I haven't seen any polls where people prefer communism, right? I have seen polls where people prefer socialism.
Yeah, 62%.
You would think one would stop and ask, why is that? Well, I don't know. Maybe because this current system is hell on earth.
It's late.
Like we literally live in hell. And income and wealth inequality is worse than the fucking Gilded Age. And people have debt out the wazoo. And people are dying because they don't have access to healthcare. And
one of the scariest statistics is the percentage of Americans that are now dipping into their savings to pay for groceries. Like that's so scary. Like when people don't have a lot of savings in the first place. So anybody that has savings generally are going to be at a place where, they feel like, okay, like doing pretty good, being able to put away a little bit of money. But people that then have to dip into those savings to be able to pay for groceries, like that, I mean, like I said, it's symptoms of late stage capitalism.
Like, people have medical bills, people can't afford to go to college. They have student loan bills that they can't even fucking put through bankruptcy. People, inflation through the roof, unemployment's through the roof, AI's taking people's jobs. You have Elon Musk is about to become a fucking trillionaire at the same time that people who work 3 jobs can't make enough money to pay the bills. And they have the nerve to act like, oh, these crazy kids, they just simply don't understand how well this system works. Fuck you.
It's very politically captured.
That's the danger. The danger is children are getting a very distorted perception of what the reality of the world is.
Oh my God. No, you know where children are getting a distorted perception of the reality of the world, Joe? Your motherfucking podcast, bro. Your podcast. Your podcast. The Joe Rogan billionaire fluffer experience. The Joe Rogan coddle Trump's nuts experience. The Joe Rogan I'm totally a left-winger as I push every right-wing talking point experience. That's where they get a bad perception of the world. You would think that a guy worth hundreds of millions of dollars who's been living in his fucking bunker in his podcast studio and his comedy club for the past decade, he would have a little bit of self-awareness to say, maybe I'm the one who's not in touch with your average person. But no.
Like right out of school by people who don't live in the world. That's what's so fucked.
Joe Rogan literally went and hid in Austin to get away from fucking California. Like, when you say people are out of touch, but the very things you do is you escape the element that you're supposed to be in touch with to even understand what these kids are thinking. Like I said before, nobody should want to be that old man. Nobody should want to be that person that just looks at kids and just goes, oh, you're all so dumb and you have no idea. Like, I'm so much more worldly and more experienced than you, and you just, you have to understand that it's an equation and you're both a part of it. Older people should be wise. Older people should speak from experience, and younger people should be passionate. And younger people should speak from an energized position, a place where they want the world to be better. They want it to be more like something that they can see as being successful and being fair, and being a future that they want to live in. And that's the way the world was always before, but now you have all these old men specifically, and the senators, the congressmen and stuff like that they don't want to let go of power. And it's the only thing that gives them relevancy in their entire life. It's all they have. And for Rogan, it's the same. Rogan's sitting here on his podcast, he feels super important. He feels as though people hear his words and believe the things he says, and he feels like, especially right now. Like right now, his ego is through the roof right now because he just got Trump to do the ibogaine thing. You got to think of it. Put yourself in Joe Rogan's shoes for 5 seconds. Joe Rogan just got Donald Trump, the president of the United States, to legalize or work on legal. Executive orders are very, very shaky. They can be overturned by the next person that comes through the door. But for the most part, for now, Ibogaine being brought back to the United States of America, his ego is going to be through the roof. He thinks the most of himself right now. So when he starts talking about young people like this, he's talking about it from this position of ego where he's like, these kids know nothing and I know everything. Look what I've done. I have the fucking cell phone number of the president of the United States. Like, who are these kids? What do they know? And that's where you put yourself in this place where you're going to be let down. You're gonna find yourself falling off that pedestal at one point. And when all these people fall off that pedestal, you know who's gonna be there? A bunch of kids. And all those kids are gonna go, oh yeah, I didn't know shit. Look at you now.
Like these people that are teaching, they've essentially gone from being a student to working in a university to being a professor. That's their entire life.
So teachers don't live in the real world, but multi-hundred millionaire Joe Rogan, who's a podcaster and a comedian, he lives in the real world. You know, when he's shooting the shit with Tony Hinchcliffe or Andrew Schultz or some billionaire AI asshole or some president, he's the one who's living in the real world, but not a teacher. A teacher wouldn't know what it's like to actually live in the real world.
They're telling you about the outside.
You know what he reminds me of right now, he reminds me of Miller. God damn it, why am I blanking on his first name? God damn it. Long brown hair. Became a Republican late in life. Always had an HBO special. Stephen Miller literally is in the middle of my brain right now, and I can't. God damn it. He reminds me of him so much. The amount of arrogance. The dude with a huge vocabulary. He has a huge vocabulary. But that's who Rogan reminds me of right now. Just this utter confidence in his own opinion.
World. They're literally prisoners who are telling you about things that are going on in places where they never go and never visit.
Yeah. Because, you know, Rogan himself, he's the one who understands.
Dennis.
He's the working
Dennis
person
Miller.
whisperer, right? I don't even know where to fucking go with this. So here he is smearing Bernie Sanders, saying like, oh, you know, he used to say tax millionaires and billionaires, but now that he's a millionaire, he doesn't want to tax millionaires anymore, even though that's objectively not true. Every tax proposal he's ever put forward also increases taxes on millionaires. Maybe he just rhetorically stresses billionaires now because some people go, oh, I don't know if I want to raise taxes on millionaires, right? So it's literally just a rhetorical shift, and he makes it seem like it's this nefarious thing. Here,
there's one thing. I know that he's going to play a clip right here, but I want to say this because it's very important. During the Bush administration, the estate tax was being bandied about. Well, you know, and the estate tax is a hereditary tax, right? Like it's whatever you inherit, not a hereditary, an inheritance tax. The estate tax is the idea that anything that you pass down to your children, if it's above a certain amount, you get to you have to pay taxes. If it's below a certain amount, you get to not pay taxes on it. So I think Trump raised it to 30 million, 15 million per individual. So that means that all of these people that make all of this money can deduct $30 million from the tax of whatever they're paying inheritance-wise, right? And then there's a bunch of other loopholes as well that goes along with this. But during Bush's administration, to get regular everyday people on board with not abolishing it or hiring it, the idea was to call it a death tax, because they knew that if they called it an inheritance tax, that most people wouldn't be able to get on the same level. They would be like, oh, well, you know, what am I going to inherit? I'm going to inherit, you know, $10,000, $20,000. Like, I'm not going to, you know, that's not that big of a deal. But if you say to a person, well, this is a death tax, that means that everything that's given to you is going to be, you know, you're going to be taxed on all of this. You're going to lose a bunch of money. Your parents, that all they left to you was a car, or all they left you, you're going to have to pay taxes on all that. And none of that was ever true, because already the line for you to pay taxes on that estate tax was going to be very, very high, right? Like, you were never going to qualify for that. Like right now, you're never going to qualify to have to pay taxes, because you're never going to inherit $31 million, right? So the way that they got people to do it, was they just changed the language, and they made people feel like, at one point or another, like Rogan said, they're going to come for you next. They're going to, first it's going to be people that have, inheritances over $10 million, and the next thing you know, it's going to be you and your Ford Escort. They're going to take half of the value of that Ford Escort, which is like $37, and you're going to be really upset about that. And, it's important to know that, because so much of the rhetoric that goes along with why we shouldn't tax billionaires, why we shouldn't tax the ultra wealthy, is all fear tactics that just are not in any realm actually a possibility. It's all just slippery slope fallacy.
Here's the way that Joe Rogan used to talk about Bernie Sanders and stuff like income and wealth inequality. Watch this.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
The fucking mirror, man. Like with long form podcasts, you find out who the fuck everybody is.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good point.
Like Bernie Sanders. Like I had Bernie Sanders on.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people that like the fucking comments were insanely positive. They're like, I thought that guy was crazy. Like, I thought he was a nut. I would see him in these little interviews. I'm like, he just wants to give away everybody's money. Like, there was a picture with Bernie with my dog, and one of the fucking hilarious comments, like, he just wants to give your dog treats to other dogs. That's the caricature. I mean, everyone has a caricature, right? The character of that guy is.
And this is when I liked watching Rogan. It was when, you can say, oh, it's because he went for Trump. No, before he even started doing the Trump shit, it all became way worse. It all became way worse. This is back when he was actually like of sound mind.
He just wants to take money from successful people and give it to lazy people. That's the worst view of Bernie Sanders, And you get to see, instead of like this narrative that gets established through these little short sound bites on these panel talk shows, there's three people talking over each other, or debates, or whatever it is. All those are ineffective. And what's interesting about it is all those are fueling podcasts. All those things that have for so long been like thought of as mainstream venues for getting your ideas out. Now they highlight all the problems with those, and they highlight all the strengths of podcasts.
That's encouraging.
Yeah, it's very encouraging. And
are you a Bernie Sanders man?
He's a nice guy. I like some of his ideas. I do not have a problem with giving up more of my money as a person who's made a lot of money if I know that it's going to benefit the greater good of mankind.
Sounds a lot different, huh?
Wow.
Forthrightly making an argument for raising taxes on millionaires and billionaires, to mocking the idea of raising taxes on millionaires and billionaires.
Yeah. COVID fried his brain. And, I've said it before that people attacked him over the ivermectin thing. I've pointed this out before. There are two different types of ivermectin. There are veterinarian, and there are one that is prescribed. Who went on his show the other day and was like, I'm not taking fucking ivermectin. I forgot who it was. It's just the other day, though. And they're arguing about it. God damn it, I can't remember who it was. But, like, his N-word video came out, and he apologized for that. I genuinely believe that COVID sent him down the conspiracy hole, as it did a lot of people. The attacks on some of the things he believed definitely pushed him further and further away from it. And I just don't think at this point, like, it's sunk cost fallacy. He's so deep in the sauce now that he can't come back. He's got audience capture. He's got a bunch of people that if he changes his opinions will just fucking leave. They're not people that are going to go. He's not Trump. He doesn't have the same. Well, even Trump has lost. 37% of the Republican Party now says that they want nothing to do with Donald Trump. The only people that are left are 62% of them, and those are all people that say like 90% of that 62% say that the economy is great, which just shows a complete and utter lack of any type of sanity. It's absolutely insane.
Bro is so fucking washed. Dave Rubin level, Ben Shapiro level washed. I'm sorry, man, but when you go from washed comedian to billionaire tech demon to fucking MAGA hack politician, and that's who you're cycling through on your show, man, give me a fucking break, dude. Who is this even for anymore? A shrinking audience of angry right-wing pricks? Because that's all you're fucking inviting in now. What a failure. What a flop. What a disgrace. Shame on Joe.
I love the poorly
Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe.
Wow. You can hear the disappointment in Kyle Kalinski's voice, man. People are disappointed in him. Like I said, I believe that like overall Rogan's intellect as a whole is a little bit overestimated. And I would have people that would say to me like, "Oh, Rogan should run for president." Back in the day when I would watch, and I go, "Well, I think Joe Rogan would tell you that he shouldn't run for president." And there was a little bit more like humility in that time. There's a little bit more like self-awareness during that time. And, I think that most people really get affected by the people that are around them. And I think at that time he had, physicists like Brian Cox. He had Steven Pinker around him. He had Jonathan Haidt around him. Ray Kurzweil. He had all these like really, really intelligent people. Neil deGrasse Tyson. That like all of these people that were clearly well above his education level. William von Hippel wrote a great book called The Social Leap. I think I have one of his books somewhere around here right now. The Social Paradox. I have it somewhere around here. And now he's surrounding himself by the same people that Trump is surrounding himself by, and that's sycophants, yes men, people that disagree with everything he says when he goes off on his rants about whatever he feels like ranting about at that time. And yeah, I'm with Cal. It's pretty sad to see. Pretty sad to see. Ivermectin is no substitute for a vaccine? Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, it's one of those things where, I just want to make sure that people understand that I'm not making that argument about ivermectin when it comes to a veterinarian drug. So I work in a grocery store, have for 20 plus years. I had people that would come into my store asking for ivermectin, and I tell them, you don't want the type of ivermectin you would buy from a supplement aisle in a store. And they go, well, I'm just going to go to Tractor Supply. And I'm like, you do not want that ivermectin. The only ivermectin you should take, and there's absolutely no evidence, there are no studies that show that ivermectin has any efficacy that is worthwhile. They did studies during fucking COVID, and nothing showed proof of concept. Nothing showed, like, people will go, well, actually, like, my cousin took it and felt better. Even fucking Joe Rogan, who now claims it cured him, even Joe Rogan, right after he took it, said, I don't really know. I took, like, handfuls of pills, and I was getting, like, vitamin drips and stuff like that. But now he says it cured him. So, like, no, it is no substitute for a vaccine. The vaccines have been proven throughout the history of mankind to be safe and effective in the majority of cases. That does not mean that there aren't a very, 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 very small percentage of people that have adverse reactions to them. That is, it's always based off of a statistic probability. We don't have polio because of that. We have more measles cases right now than we have ever had before. Well, not ever, because there was the measles. In the past decade or 2 decades, or what was it, was it in 2000 or was it 2010 when we called measles eradicated? We haven't had this many cases because we had a higher percentage of herd immunity. Like, people just want a reason to feel like they know something that other people don't. That's conspiracy theory. That's the flat earth theory. That's the we didn't land on the moon theory. Even when it comes to stuff like the JFK thing, which I like to participate in. I love to get on some, there was another dude on the grassy knoll shit. It's fun to talk about. It's enjoyable stuff. But people want to feel like they know something that other people don't know. And when they, when you just, go along with the majority narrative of, like, vaccines work, which is true, you don't get to be that person. You don't get to be the outlier. You don't get to feel smart. You're just another person repeating what people feel is objectively true. When we say the earth is round, which it is, that's not fun, because you're just stating a fact. Steven Pinker said it a long time ago. He said, the reason that good news never makes the news is because you could report for the next, 10 years that, you know, X amount of people were lifted out of poverty due to these different social programs, nobody would care because it's just objective truth. It's just, you would just be like, oh, okay, cool. Like, that's what happened last year. But if a bomb goes off in New York and 60 people die, then people go, oh my God, that's crazy. That's crazy. But you know what's even crazier is if you get to be the person that stands on the outside of that group and says, it wasn't just the bomb, guys. It was Israel, or it was Hamas, or it was the government. When you get to be that person, it feels really good because you feel like, oh, I'm the only person that knows this thing. You know, and the reality is that life is a lot more boring and monotonous than that. Life isn't a TV show. It's not drama. It's like the most dramatic thing you're going to have happen to you in your life is most likely going to be the bullshit that happens between you and your friends over something stupid like somebody stealing your dime bag. Which one of you fuckers took it? It's just, that's the way it is. It's like, you know, but, you know, I'm all for it. I heard somebody say, yeah, nobody wants to be a normie. Everybody wants to be special. You know, that's the funny thing is, like, they made fun of the left for wanting to be snowflakes. Because I don't know if you guys remember that, but the left did, like, that was the left's whole thing a long time ago. It was like, we're unique. Everybody's a snowflake. We're all unique. And then the right kind of took that shit and turned it into an insult. But the reality is everybody wishes they were a snowflake. Everybody wishes they were unique compared to everybody else. And whether or not MAGA wants to admit it or not, you know, they want the same thing. In fact, they want it so bad they started a cult. Which actually resulted in the exact opposite of them being unique. That's one hell of a fucking cycle. It's pretty sad stuff, to be honest. Andrew explains there are some rigid edges that are needed to protect social welfare and individuality. Damn right I do, AJ. Thank you. I'm gonna go grab some water, and then we're gonna watch another video. So hang out for a second while share stream, guys. 5 minutes. Taking a little break. Now I'm upstairs, I can go get this stuff. They lumped themselves into a swamp. Yeah, exactly. They wanted to drain the swamp because that was the crazy thing to say. Draining the swamp. We're draining the swamp. And then they just became the swamp because they actually don't have any like unique ability to drain the swamp because they're powerless, and that's what makes them sad. All right, I'm gonna go grab some water. I'll be right back. Give me like 2 minutes. Okay, apparently Josh Hockett has vomited on himself at weigh-ins at the UFC. I want to see if I can find... My wife sent me the video. Let's see if I can find it. We gotta go over to monitor number 3. Oh, it's on Threads. I don't know if I'm on Threads. See if we can get it over here. I'm like, there's too many social media apps. I'm an old man. I can't help myself. I'm like, too many social media. God damn it. Oh, okay. He's an idiot. Okay, hold on.
So what? Maybe I was drinking last night.
It's just Josh Hockett being an idiot. Yeah.
Who wouldn't be?
Oh my god. Oh, here, I'll play it for you guys where you guys can see it. This is how idiocracy this country has gotten, guys. Oh my god. Okay, so if you don't know who Josh Hockett is, Josh Hockett's I think he's ex-Kansas City Chiefs offensive lineman. And he, like, has all these characters he's made to be MMA and stuff, and yeah. Anyways, this is Josh Hockett at the weigh-in. Oh my god. This is how idiocracy everything has gotten.
231.
231, the official weight for Josh Hockett.
Josh, straight ahead, please. 5. Thank you, Josh.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you would please stick around, we are going to have Diego Lopez weighing in once again as a
So you didn't
potential.
see the start of it. Here, let's watch the start of it.
So what? Maybe I was drinking last night. But who wouldn't be? I have a giant black man that wants to knock me out. Is the most knockouts in UFC history.
This is the saddest shit.
Please do, Josh. 231.
231, the official weight for Josh Hockett.
Josh, straight ahead, please. 5.
Bro, stop. So this whole thing is he has all these character he plays already. He's faking that shit. He's being an idiot. Like, this is idiocracy. It's idiocracy. It's idiocracy. We've gone there. We're now faking throwing up on ourselves and talking about getting beaten up by a big black man. Denny, I'm going to guess that he probably had like some fucking applesauce or something in his mouth. Oh my god. Like, it's all just WWE now. Everything is WWE. And that was like, that's how Trump got elected. He drug a bunch of dipshits off of their couch that never would have voted ever before, that have zero idea what a policy is or how the government works or what the Federal Reserve actually does. Instead, they've just watched a bunch of conspiracy theory videos about them. Like, it's just sad. It really is absolutely sad, like, where we're at in our society. That, I mean, look, the UFC is the UFC. It's always been a bunch of dudes just beating the shit out of each other. It is what it is. But at least, like, it had, like, with the Gracies, it had this, like, you know, idea of being, like, higher class. Like, I know that, like, forever it was called, like, what do they call it? They called it, you know, cockfighting or whatever it was. But being a person that grew up with martial arts, like, it always felt like it was a step above a lot of the other things, right? Like, it was like a way to show that what Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu could do. And now it's just like, it's just appealing to the lowest common denominator. And somebody like Josh Hockett is the prime example of why that's successful. Is people look at somebody like Josh Hockett and fucking him fake vomiting on himself and talk about drinking last night and getting beat up by a big black man. And it just, that's what it appeals to these people. And it's so sad because it's just like we're just continuing to encourage people they get dumber and more basic by the moment, which is funny because I was just talking about how all these people want to be unique snowflakes and just know something that somebody else doesn't. And yet the reality is they're just like dumbing themselves out. Like if somebody right now were to strap on a helmet with a feeder tube and yell about baiting, I would be like, that's normal. Seems normal. Boku, what's going on, Boku? Yeah, Chuck Norris. I used to like Chuck, and then he also failed me as well. Knicks won. DJ, why am I not watching the Knicks game? All right, congrats, New York. Dude, you guys can't stop winning over there in New York. New York's, they get a good mayor. They kicked Trump out. Literally told Trump he can't do business anymore ever in their fucking city. Look, the goddamn winning streak New York's on right now is historic. Historic. Letitia James wrecked Trump's ass. Juan Merchan wrecked Trump's ass. Look, I'm from California and I'm feeling state envy right now. Not city envy because I live in a really nice part of Northern California, so. but state-wise, man, New York is on a historical run. Whatever happened to Get Good Scrub with sports? I think that might have been the beginning of the issue. Like I tell you guys all the time, I fully admit my generation was probably a large portion of why we're here right now. Call of Duty lobbies, not great. 4chan, not great. Jerry Springer, not great. WWE, not great. Like, I was definitely part of the generation that probably fucked all of this. I'm sorry for that, guys. I was definitely playing a lot of Call of Duty back in the day. Get good, scrub. Oh, those are the days. Man, I suck at this game. Get good, scrub. You know what my favorite thing that people told somebody that just ended up not working out was? You guys remember when they told all those truck drivers that were losing their job to AI, or they thought they were going to lose their jobs to AI, which they still are? Remember when people said learn to code? Like, did you guys realize when you told a bunch of truck drivers to learn to code that AI would, in the end, learn to code better than the truck drivers? Were you guys setting them up for that? Because I wasn't a part of that. I had no part in that one. That one was not my fault. You guys can't blame me for that one. Odds of shit burning in New York City tonight? I would say 97%. High 90s. High 90s. That shit's going to burn in New York right now. It's probably already on fire. If it was Philadelphia, there have already been 3 stabbings. My Eagles fans are not known for their ability to celebrate without burning shit down. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that AI is ridiculously good at coding. So we told all these truck drivers that they should learn to code after losing their jobs to AI, just so they could then go and lose their jobs coding to AI. Like, literally, we sent them from the one job that they were getting shit stolen from them to the other job that they would get shit stolen from them. We did not do right by the truckers, okay? We did not. Here, since we're talking about UFC stuff, let's watch this. I don't even know what this is. Oh, it's Josh Johnson. Do you guys know Josh Johnson? I know most of my viewers know Josh Johnson. I love Josh Johnson, man. This is Josh Johnson, and this is him talking about the UFC at the White House. So we might as well watch this, right? Let's watch Josh Johnson talk about the UFC at the White House.
Bringing a UFC event They're bringing a UFC event to the White House lawn. They're gonna fight on the lawn.
I like that alone by itself is a joke. Like, people laugh just at him saying what they are doing.
They're gonna fight on the lawn at the White House. They're gonna fight at the lawn.
Also, look, they shouldn't even put a ring. They shouldn't even put a ring on the South Lawn. They should have made them just fight on the grass. Like, that's appropriate right now, right? Like, white church it up. Just send some dudes out there in some New Balances and some cutoff jean shorts, no shirt on, no gloves. Just let them duke it out on the front lawn.
They're gonna fight on the lawn at the White House. No, I just want you to hear how it sounds to the rest of the world. They're gonna fight on the lawn at the White. First of all, I didn't know the White House had that much lawn. They're gonna fight on the lawn at the White House. Who is the president is? They're gonna fight on the lawn. You know, it's like, and it's like they shouldn't just have a fight. It shouldn't just be a fight. There should also be like a Buick on blocks.
Yes! Some pregnant white lady with her belly hanging out the bottom of her shirt, yelling at him, "Get him, Daryl! Beat his ass, Daryl!"
No, they're gonna fight on the White House lawn. You know the White House. No, you know the place that he already tore up. They're gonna fight in front of a torn up White House. They are gonna make Washington D.C. look as Oklahoma as possible. You got half the house demolished. You got to fight on the lawn. And look, I watch UFC from time to time. I love MMA. I watch a lot of MMA. But this is unnecessary. They're bringing a...
Oh my God. I'm just saying, if there just happens to be a thunderstorm, what are the chances that Donald Trump does not go inside? Okay? Like I said, at the correspondence dinner when that guy shot, if he really did shoot a gun, that actually happened and was not just staged, Donald Trump sat at the table when the Secret Service came to him and were like, "Sir, you have to go." And he's like, "I'd like to stay a couple more minutes. I want to see what is going on." Like, they ushered J.D. Vance out. And Stephen Miller used his wife as a human shield. But they ushered J.D. Vance out, and he went with them. But Donald Trump was like, "I kind of want to see it." "Do you think they'll shoot Don Jr. first?" I'm just saying, is there a potential that when the weather reports come in and they're like, "Lightning strikes incoming, please go inside," and people are walking around going like, "Hey, we got to get inside, guys. We got to get inside. There's lightning strikes. We're under a huge metal structure." Do you think there's a chance that we get to finally celebrate that Donald Trump just stays out there? "I just want to see the lightning. You know, there's a lot of lightning." They say Donald Trump, he brings the lightning. I'm Zeus, practically Zeus. I'm just saying that, you know, I would approve. I support Donald Trump's right to stand outside and tempt fate. And you know what? Fuck that lightning. It's got nothing on you, brother. You show that lightning who's boss. Just saying. He did. He looked at the sun. He looked at the sun. This man is not, he's not really known for his great decision making when it comes to the elements or guns or the economy or starting wars and closing down the strait. Just everything, actually. Just all of the things. He's bad at all of the things. He's not good. I'm trying to think of one thing that Donald Trump has actually been good at. I got it. He's pretty good at avoiding the judicial system. I'll give it to him. I'll give it to the man. Had 34 felonies. If he was black, he would have had 3 consecutive life sentences. That man, he is the only person I have ever heard of that avoided any type of jail time for 34 felonies. We don't even talk about it anymore. Is he still on probation? Does Donald Trump have a parole officer? These are all questions that need to be answered. Is J.D. Vance Donald Trump's parole officer? RFK Jr. maybe his parole officer. These are just all very, very important questions. Do you think we will have a years-long Trumpian dynasty like the days of old in Europe? I don't want to think about that right now. I'm not answering that question. I don't want to think too hard about that. I'm not answering that one. All right, let's watch this. I want to watch this. I haven't watched IHIP Ladies in so long. And this is about Erika Kirk hits rock bottom as TPUSA goes under. Now, I can't believe anybody's titles to their videos anymore. Zero ability to actually believe that a video is actually going to be about what it says it is. But I believe in the IHIP ladies, so I want to hear about this. And these are my 2 favorite ladies on the internet right now. Okay?
All right, the Jeffrey Epstein files are going nowhere. And I mean nowhere. They are so back up at the top of the news cycle because the president of the United States is covering up with all of his MAGA Christian supporters that he's at the epicenter of the Epstein files. And it's so back up at the top of the news cycle, you guys. The New York Times is even digging up conversations that Trump had.
I'm going to actually disagree with Jennifer here. I don't think that Trump is worried about the Epstein files at this point. I think Trump has realized that his supporters do not care whether or not he did all of the things that people have accused him of on that island. I think that Donald Trump has realized that the people that follow him are as morally corrupt as he is and that they don't care. I think all of this other stuff might have been at the beginning, you know, some reason to cover stuff up and get people to not talk about the Epstein files. Because obviously at one point or another he's pretty irritated about it. But at this point, I don't think that he's concerned at all about what people will think about him as, you know, a result of the Epstein files. I think that he's now realized that there's 62% of the Republican Party that do not care whether or not you harm children, and you know, we already knew that because a lot of these people are Catholics. So sorry for you Catholics out there that don't support what has happened in the Catholic Church, because actually I'm a pretty big supporter of Pope Leo now.
With Charlie Kirk, before Charlie Kirk was murdered. Pop this up. Breaking, Donald Trump reportedly told aides he was unhappy with Charlie Kirk and other influential supporters for alleging a Jeffrey Epstein cover-up and called Kirk to reprimand him just weeks before his assassination, according to New York Times journalists Maggie Haberman and Jonathan Swan.
Yeah, during that time, he seemed to be concerned about people knowing it. Because at that point, I think all of his supporters were like literally yelling that they wanted the Epstein files, and they were so mad. But the reason that they wanted the Epstein files is because they thought it was filled with Democrats. They thought Obama was going to be in the Epstein files. They thought Biden was going to be in the Epstein files. Clinton was in the Epstein files. Allegedly. You know, the moment that it came out that, you know, Obama wasn't in there, Biden wasn't in there, like the moment that there wasn't a bunch of Democrats and instead it was like the entirety of Trump's administration. Once they realized that like everybody in the Epstein files was like not even 6 degrees from Trump, like 1.5 degrees from Donald Trump, they were like, Actually, I think it's a hoax. That's the reality.
But it gets even worse for Trump and Turning Point. So Turning Point has had to admit that they used AI of Charlie Kirk saying that if something were to happen to him, that he wanted his wife to take over. Pop this up. TPUSA leadership admits using AI to create the video they circulated of Charlie Kirk saying he wants Erika.
No. What? No. Is that true? Look, I click on videos and I'm like, this shit ain't gonna actually be what it is. Dude, is that true? Somebody tell me before I start like going full, like actually talking trash. Dude, is that supposed to be Charlie Kirk also? Because if people fell for that, that definitely is not Charlie Kirk.
Kirk to replace him if he dies. The message here is, you guys, everything in the MAGA movement is built and based upon lies, appearances, and they even have to fake their support. Remember when Ashley St. Clair was on our show and she said this, play the clip. Clearly something's wrong with her objectively.
Did you see the Unfuck America kids?
No.
They just did this whole expose on how so many of the Turning Point chapters are fake. Like they're ghost chapters. They don't exist. So it looks like, at least from their reporting, that they're just boosting these numbers.
And they would know because they're the people that follow these TPUSA groups around to college campuses and the debate people on the campuses. I had an interview with a gentleman to join their group, but my channel was a little too small, and they wanted to work with me and help me build my channel and stuff and get me to a point where, like I could be productive and helpful. But I'm a grown ass man with a lot of hours put into my regular ass job, so I didn't get to do that, which was sad because literally I was talking to these people right before the thing happened with Charlie Kirk. So that would have been pretty epic to have been a part of that organization and going to those events with when that happened. But yeah, if anybody knew or had like kind of like a bit of knowledge of the inner workings of what was going on, I imagine it would be these guys, because they're literally trying to follow around and catch these debates and counter debate them
For donors to make it look like they have more of a student movement and operation than they do.
So Ashley St. Clair is correct, and she was inside the Death Star for a very long time. A bombshell investigation by the organization Unfuck America is pulling back the curtain on how Turning Point USA is inflating their presence nationwide, which Ashley St. Clair, I want to remind you guys, used to be in a relationship with Elon Musk, has a child with him. She's abundantly aware of how much MAGA feigns and or artificially produces support. Pop this up. The allegations stem from an investigation released by the Unfuck America Tour. One former Turning Point USA field representative said, I was handed 12 chapters and only 7 of them were actually real. She described bounced phone numbers, fake contact information, and relatives allegedly listed as chapter founders.
Nice.
Investigators claimed they reviewed 72 schools listed as verified Turning Point USA chapters and found only 7 active groups. The investigation found that despite advertising the organization having 3,500 chapters across the country, the real number was closer to 900 pumps. 900.
Someone needs to write a song stating how we are all actually Charlie Kirk. I think they made bumper stickers.
This follows.
Oh, we had Facebook profiles.
A pattern for Turning Point. In 2020, the Washington Post reported that the organization paid Arizona teenagers to post coordinated disinformation on social media. So here's what I want to say about Turning Point. Turning Point is predatorial. It is a predatorial organization that engages in psychological and emotional grooming. They want to capture these kids when they're trying to fit in right after they go out to college, and they appeal to everybody's worst impulses, much like Trump does. Here's the thing. This whole movement, the turning point movement, is going to faceplant. Yeah, there's a bunch of Bible thumping women that, probably have really screwed up husbands that are finding some sort of solace in Erika Kirk because misery loves company. But I just read a focus group readout, and they interviewed a lot of Gen Zers, and their favorite politician by a long shot was Zoran Mamdani.
Oh,
and
no
so
shit.
this movement, I think we're seeing it. It's going to start flatlining out. Erika Kirk is a layup to ridicule because the content creates itself, because she's running around like a damn nut, dressed up like an assassin, firework, funerals.
Bro, the video of her in the all black. I am so sad that I was not streaming during that time. That shit was comedy gold, dude. That was comedy gold. Erika Kirk with the black hat on and the like oh my god, man. I don't want to be hopeful to Erika Kirk at all. I have zero. There's nowhere in my heart that feels like I should try to help, but I kind of feel like just the professional part of me wants to be like, someone should have told her, right? Like, I mean, why would you let her do that? Let's just say this, okay? Let's just say she puts on the black suit, throws on the hat, starts fucking making mean faces at the camera. You wrap up, recording. The editor should have looked at that and been like, no, we're not posting this. Like, people are going to mock this into oblivion. Like, this is going to do nothing positive for us. Somebody in the chain, right? Like, whether you're like her new boyfriend, like, I guarantee she's probably got like a couple, right? Like her new boyfriend, because she got a lot of money. So, I mean, it's either him or the person recording the video or the person editing the video. None of those people looked at her and said, this is a bad idea. That is a failing business right there, guys. If somebody did not speak up, there's problems in the inner workings of that business.
No, it's just the weirdest shit I've genuinely ever seen. I grew up in the Bible Belt. I know these Erika Kirk style women, but she's like the.
We should just watch the Drewski stuff. I mean, it's never gonna not be funny, right? We should just watch the Drewski stuff.
Caricature of the worst ones that I knew.
I have thought a lot about this since Charlie Kirk's death in September. You have a very attractive female whose husband was murdered in broad daylight, and she is his widow with 2 young children, and she has, in that short period of time between September and now, become objectively the craziest, most unsympathetic widow we have ever seen. Like, to me, that says a lot about her mental status. Like, nobody has much sympathy for her other than the diehard, nutballs.
No, not even them, though. Like, that's the insane part about Erika Kirk. Like, how long do you guys think it is until she just flips the grift and tries to come over, tries to pull the Ashley St. Clair? You guys might think I'm crazy for saying this. You guys are probably sitting there going, like, she'll never do that, right? I don't know, man. Like, MAGA doesn't like Erika Kirk. They're too misogynistic. They hate her, dude. Like, she is maligned by everyone. I can't think of another person off the top of my head that's hated by the left and by MAGA. I think she's the only person. Because
she is so unhinged, and it is so obvious. But just one point I have to make about Turning Point. Yeah, I refuse. Logic does not allow me. This Charlie Kirk's organization was like, women should go to college to find a wife. Get your MRS degree. Promoting trad wives, despite the fact.
Josh, that's actually a good call. The incels. Like, oh God, that's so sad. Damn, that is. Oh Jesus, that is a low. That is the lowest of the low. Is that, like, Like, I hate Andrew Tate for what he's done to young men in the society. I hate all of these grifter ass red pill dudes that don't really give two shits about helping young men. You know, I really feel like there needs to be a better, more positive role model for young men that like really takes an interest in creating some type of, you know, content or program, something that actually like truly wants to see young men doing better. Like I would love to see that. But that's what they do, right? Like they're going to just turn her into the incel queen, right? My wife said femcel the other day, and I thought she made it up. I got excited. I was like, oh, it's a really good one. And then we looked it up, and we're like, nah, people already use femcel. Fuck! But she could be the femcel queen, right? Like, that's what's going to happen. Josh, I'm stealing it. She's going to become the femcel queen.
That Erika Kirk is working full time. So I just find it hard to believe that he contemplated that she would be the leader when his idea.
Oh, they're going to all turn into a bunch of Homelanders. And that's going to be their mommy. Oh, my God.
Of a woman was a homemaker and a Mrs., not an independent person.
It's hard to believe because when you're 30, you don't think about your death. You don't have a succession plan. When I was 30, I didn't think about, oh my gosh, if I die, I want this person to take over my interior design firm. These are things you think about much later. It's Erika Kirk desperately wants to be a celebrity, to be the master of this movement. And here's the thing, with MAGA, you have a bunch of people that are following a mentally ill person, Donald Trump, now mental illness, dementia, all sorts of shit. The same thing is true for Erika Kirk. And I think when you look at cults, you oftentimes, the cult leader has a personality disorder or some form of mental illness, sociopathy, like
you're trying to rationalize the attractive part. It is very strange how enamored with a woman that the right becomes. It is big time thirst energy. Like it's like act like you've been there before, boys. Like holy shit, man. Like for a bunch of dudes that think they're like alpha and super masculine, like they will literally fall over themselves for a mildly attractive woman. And that's, I'm not knocking any of the women that they find attractive. I'm just saying, even if you are mildly attractive, really, you don't even need to be attractive. You just need to say something nice to them. And they're like, oh my God, I came up. Now I need a new pair of pants. Like, if you guys remember, it was a couple weeks ago, I covered Let's Not Date. I keep saying that I'm going to shout out Let's Not Date, and I keep forgetting. Let's Not Date on Facebook. If you guys ever want to see some of the funniest conversations between MAGA men and a woman that poses as, MAGA is one of her personalities, but she also does, like, a horny history thing, where she forces men to listen to the history of the United States while they try to get her to, talk to him. The last guy, she educated him on the Lavender Scare, which happened during the Red Scare. And the whole thing is like, why can't you talk to me like a normal woman? And she's like, I'm helping you learn. Anyways, if you guys haven't ever seen it, go check out Let's Not Date on Facebook. And you really use some subscriptions and stuff to her Patreon, so help her out on that too. But, she does this thing where she talks to MAGA men, and just by paying attention to them, gets them to do all this like crazy shit, like posting like woke memes and like, speaking out against ICE and stuff like that. It's like, just like any woman that spends any amount of attention at all on these MAGA men, they like, I feel like there's somewhere here we can use this. Like AOC could probably get the MAGA vote, right? AOC could probably get the MAGA vote. I mean, there's got to be something in there. We're going to work on this. We're going to spitball some ideas.
Really, really on the spectrum of a very deranged person. And Erika Kirk is absolutely no different from this. She goes around championing white supremacy. That's what she does. And she uses religion and weaponizes it against these women who have been told by their parents and by their churches that they are like second or third in line. It's like God, then your husband, then your Bible study group. Yeah, then you can take care of yourself. I mean, just really dated, antiquated, misogynistic shit. And yes, growing up in the Bible Belt, I know plenty of women who will just pull up to that ideology. But it is something that must be defeated. It must be defeated culturally, because this is a final push that they're trying to rein women back in to the patriarchy. And it's simply not going to happen. It's kind of like the MAGA movement trying to get rid of.
No, I was just talking about this today. The women's American soccer team is prolifically good. What is it? They have 3 World Cups and 5 gold medals at the Olympics. The U.S. women's soccer team is considered one of the best, or actually it's considered the best women's soccer team in the world. By the way, the men, literally the best the men have ever done is they took 3rd place in 1930. Okay? Like, that's, like, as far as soccer goes, it's not huge in America, but as far as, empowering women, I know that this is a hot take, but women have really, really pushed hard for equal rights. There's a lot of other countries in this world that do not even allow for that to happen, and the women in this country have absolutely destroyed it in soccer. And Americans should be super proud of that. Super proud of the ladies. And it's just one of those funny things where MAGA can't be proud of the women's soccer team, because then they got to admit that these women are actually fucking amazing. They're awesome, and they deserve so much credit, and they deserve your esteem. They deserve your appreciation, and they're not going back. That's what I was saying, is because she said that, like, women in this country, I don't give a shit if you're MAGA or not. You don't want to go back. That's a great selling point to get MAGA men to follow your channel. It's a great selling point to get red pill dudes to jump on your jock and send you money on your GoFundMe. All of that shit, 100% true. But women in this country do not want to go back, and they should not want to go back. And we're a better place because a lot of these women are empowered. A lot of these women are strong and capable, and are finding their voice in this society, and are making a dent in an area where men couldn't even touch it. I've said this a lot of times before. We need each other. We need each other. There's no better relationship than 2 strong partners. Like, there is no better business. There's no better personal relationship. It's always best when everybody in the relationship is strong and empowered and appreciated. And that's what this country needs to be. And most of the women in this country, I would say the vast majority of the women in this country, understand that and do not wish to be taken back to what this country had them doing. When the men won 3rd place in 1930 in the World Cup.
Multiculturalism. Good luck. It's here. That's what America is. But I want to remind you of just what a faceplant turning point is, because you can look no further to what J.D. Vance rolled up, and even Erika Kirk no-showed. And y'all remember this video, which anytime I have a chance, pop this up. Anytime I have a chance to humiliate J.D. Vance, I always want to do that. Wow. And so also, even those who are involved in the Turning Point organization don't seem to really care about voting. Let's pop this up. No attendee I spoke with seemed interested in the midterms. When I asked a 35-year-old from Virginia named Whitney whether she was paying attention to any races in her state, she laughed and said, not even a little bit. And so these Christian organizations, my issue with them are an offshoot of the 1980s megachurch boom. And they have radicalized a sect of people, and the majority of them, I believe, are engaged in religious psychosis. What you're seeing Erika Kirk do is religious psychosis. All of the women that pull up next to her and act like they're so Christ-like, or whatever the phrasing is for that, religious psychosis. It's abundantly obvious to the majority of people that these people are batshit crazy, that Erika Kirk is off her fucking rocker. You can watch her for 2 seconds with her eyes and how crazy she, it's nuts. And so of course they have to fake the support. Of course it's all ballooned and faked, because the majority of people are able to critically think. It is cult-like nature and the death cult nature of the Turning Point situation, mega churches at large, because this is the most co-opted group in America.
Well, didn't they vote with Trump like over 80%, or maybe even 90%?
90, yeah.
And I think you're right. They're not critically thinking, and they just want to live in the reality that they create for themselves, much like Donald Trump does.
All right, that's all we have. Like, subscribe, comment. We'll be.
I missed watching the IHIP ladies. I'm glad I watched the video file. But let me just say this though. They're spot on with everything they're saying there. But one thing I'll add to that is when you hear these people talking about the fact that they're not going to vote, they don't care about the midterms, it's because it's not fun anymore. It's not fun. Being a Trump supporter, for these people, it was fun. They were triggering the liberals. They were winning, because as long as their guy wasn't in power, they weren't exposed, right? Like, they weren't the center of attention. But now that their guy is in power and everything he's doing is just making the country worse, and objectively, not everybody in this country knows what is going on. We can all see it. Objectively, it is true that when you see what is happening in this country, that Donald Trump is a failure. And now it's not fun. You're not triggering the liberals anymore. The liberals are just mocking you, making fun of you for being dumb. They're saying to you things like, you voted for this. Like, wow, you shot yourself in the foot. You cut your own nose off to spite your own face. Like, it's not fun anymore. And they're not going to show up. They're not going to show up. It's not an enjoyable experience for them anymore. They're taking their flags off their truck. They're taking the flags off their houses. There's still going to be, the diehard, super culty, like, no, I'm going to vote just to make you mad, like people, which are that's just retarded. But, at the end of the day, it's not fun for them anymore. They don't like this. They don't like the reality. They don't like it when it all comes back to them. And what it's really going to come down to is, in my opinion, two moments. The moment that Donald Trump stumbles and falls, and I mean that literally. The moment that Donald Trump falls down a set of stairs getting off the plane, or does a Biden at the Air Force commencement speech and trips on a cord and falls on the ground, the moment that happens, the strong man mentality of Donald Trump, which is a facade in the first place, is gone. It dissipates. It's thin. It's practically non-existent already, and the only people propping it up are the cult members. And when he falls, it's gone. And when he dies, when Donald Trump dies, none of these people are going to have anything left to do. Like, the investment in Spencer Pratt, it's not going to be enough. They just don't have the same power over the cult that Donald Trump does. And when Donald Trump dies, every one of these people are going to shrink off into the night, and they are going to close their doors, and they're going to sit on their computer, and they're going to go back to Googling conspiracy theories and typing on the internet. That's the long of it. Thanks for shouting. Yeah, of course, devil advocate, of course. Am I muted? I hope I'm not muted. I'm like, don't tell me after all that I was muted. Look, I mean, the reality is I talk about shit the way it is, right? Like, when Biden went up there, I sat on this channel. I said, Trump don't want to debate Biden. Biden gave those State of the Union addresses, and I was like, man, still got it. I'm like, if he debates Trump, I don't care how old he is, he's gonna take Trump down. And then Biden went up there, and Biden had a stroke. And I was like, oh shit, this is over. It's like, meh, that's the end of that. It's at the end of the day, you're gonna put your hopes in the person that you believe is, the right person for the job, whether you're a cult member or you're, a angry bald ginger that's just hoping that the country doesn't fall apart before he gets to retire and possibly gets some Social Security in his life. It is what it is, and when I saw that, I was like, yep, that's that. And to be honest with you, like, for me, I'm not a cult worshiper. I like a lot of what Biden did during his presidency, as far as the Chips and Science Act, as far as the PACT Act, as far as the bipartisan gun laws, the fact that he actually got an infrastructure bill pushed through. There's a lot. I like that, the way he steered us, out of COVID, and the fact that we were at a 2.9% and a 4% unemployment, 2.9% inflation. Like, I like all those things, but at the end of the day, once he faltered, I knew we need a new horse. I thought we needed a new horse before that, but I was like, Old Reliable might be able to make it another trip, but that was wrong. But now, you pick up your shit and you move on, because I still have hope. I still, like, my personality, my life wasn't tied to a president or a presidential candidate. Like, who I am as a person is completely divorced from the person that I voted for. And right now, what we have right now is a group of people that are not just married to their relationship with Donald Trump, but like, they're so fully invested in it that I don't think that they can tell who they are and who Trump is and what the difference is. And when Trump dies, it's over. It's sunk cost fallacy at its worst. Yes, Biden did fuck up that debate. Yes, he did. That was a hard time to watch. My life was tied to anyone but Trump. 100%. Pendulous, what's happening? I worked and paid taxes for 37 years. Now on assisted disability, I only get $12.85 a month. Can I get a bullshit? You can definitely get a bullshit. Pendulous. That is bullshit. You should be taken care of. We don't work our whole fucking lives to pay into this system to make things. And like I said, that's not just a right-wing issue. That's also Democrats not following through on shit. And that's why, like I've said before, everybody needs to be held accountable, The left might have been, better about it, but they didn't, I've said it before, Jon Stewart said it before, Jen just said it a minute ago on the IHIP show. Hey, you need to grow a goddamn spine, and next time you get into office, you need to look at all of these people and you need to go, you know what we're going to do? We're going to make sure that people can retire. We're going to make sure that people don't go bankrupt because, their wife got cancer. We're going to make sure that people are taken care of. We're going to make sure that AI doesn't take people's fucking jobs and that people are left out in the cold with no way to live. When Bernie Sanders stands up there in front of everybody and says that these AI companies owe you half of not their profits, but of their shareholders' fucking stock prices, that makes sense. Because they stole from you. Because they stole your art. They stole your music. They stole your writing. And they stealing your jobs. And you are the one who created that. And when I say you, I mean we. You created that. You deserve it. And to think that these trillionaires, these billionaires, it's crazy to even say trillionaires now. That there's a trillionaire, there's a billionaire, and that those people they're going to profit off of everything you made in your life. And you're just going to sit there and just shine their shoes and lick their balls and just be like, they're the greatest? Not me, dog. Not me. At the end of the day, AI is going to exist. AI moving forward into the future is going to be here and going to become more prevalent in our life. And politicians better get their heads out of their asses and better figure out how to make it okay for all of the people that created the work that went into making something like AI possible. And I'm not talking about engineers. I'm talking about human beings that literally put their blood, sweat, and tears into art and music and writing and work. And, from the smallest to the largest, every one of us deserves some type of UBI, because when people start losing their jobs to AI and there ain't any UBI, you're going to have a reckoning. New York indeed did win. The Knickerbockers. And did they win? And saying Knickerbockers that's as a bald white man, that is on the line. I tried to get Abul El Sayed on the Sons of Liberty, but no response. He's too big for us. I don't really know that guy. Probably look that up, huh? Let's see. If anyone lives in Michigan, please vote. Oh, that's who it is. He's for the Michigan Senate. Okay. Let's see. Let's watch another video. I'm doing okay tonight. Everybody's kind of like vacated the premises. My wife's in the room. UBI, the contraceptive. Everybody gets contraceptives. I'm okay with that. Dude, Mom Donna Stan. Dude, I was saying it earlier, Devils. Dude, I said it earlier. I was like, New York is on a winning streak. Kicked Trump out. Held his ass accountable for fraud. Held his ass accountable for being liable of SA on E. Jean Carroll. Held his ass on 34 counts and found him guilty. Dude, elected Mom Donnie, won the fucking the championship, and not too long ago they were in the World Series, right? Weren't the Mets? Am I wrong about that? I stopped watching baseball because I'm an A's fan. Yeah, it's good at ads. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll look him up, Pendulous, for sure. Yeah, New York's steady winning right now. I'm super happy for them, because that's what you should be. Like, it's so crazy. In America, it's like you have people fucking hating on. It's just like they just want you to be your competition. That's what it is. They just want you to be competition. Stay competitive. Stay at each other's throats. It's like you get MAGA out of this situation, and you might be able to have some conversations again. It's just right now something needs to be done. Something needs to be done. Yes, I am an A's fan, and yeah, I know. I don't watch them because of that, dude. Because somebody asked me the other day, like, would I go to one of the games at the River Cat Stadium, and I was like, nah. Even if I had a chance, I wouldn't. I was like, because not that, like, the for a AAA team, like their stadium's actually pretty nice. It's a pretty cool stadium. But like, I'm not giving my money to a billionaire that don't give a shit about people. Like, he literally came out and said that he doesn't care about fielding a winning team. Like, he's not here for entertainment. He's here for business. And it's like, okay, then fine. I'm not giving you my money. I'm not buying jerseys. I'm not buying tickets. I'm not even watching your shit on TV. So I haven't really watched an A's game since that. So I know that they're moving to Vegas, and, good on them. But, whoever it is, enjoy the games. That's all I gotta say. I'm not gonna hate. Enjoy the games. Yeah, Dolan. Yeah, Dolan's a piece of shit too. Yeah, he's Trump's friend. Trump's buddy. That's why he was at the New York game. He said, I was there the whole time talking to Trump. Trump never fell asleep. I was talking to him the whole time. Literally, there's a video of him. Nobody talking to him. Trump's falling asleep. Fucking, I don't know what to say to you. It's all on tape, bro. It's all on tape. So, let's see. Let's watch one more video, and then I think I'm going to call it. Let's see. I got that one. We got that one. Let's, actually, we might watch two videos. Let's watch this video. Let's watch this video here. This is Bill Burr on the What's Your Take Subway Take guy. It's right here. Let's watch this, because I like this Subway Takes guy. Does a Metro card thing.
Take. When they get rid of all the illegals in this country, white billionaires will then magically become generous and start paying people a living wage because they inadvertently got rid of their excuse as to why they're not paying people.
100% disagree.
Okay.
100%
Why would they all of a
disagree.
sudden start paying?
Because it's the illegal aliens' fault. That's why.
So once the problem...
They need to come to this country the right way, the way my people came here.
On a boat?
Yeah, that's the way you do
Illegally?
it.
You're pilgrim-blooded, right?
I think, yeah, you go back a couple generations. Yeah, my people had a belt buckle.
Yeah, I think my great-grandparents came here. My great-grandparents.
Right on the front of their hat.
Turkey boys, Thanksgiving boys.
That was the name of their gang. They were the Turkey Boys, yeah.
Some of your jokes are about how everyone is mad at everyone else. And no one's mad at the right people.
Yeah, they have states hating other states. People in red states
Wow. I literally was just saying that.
don't like Cal.
The ginger mind meld that happened right there.
California, people in California don't like Texas. Somewhere along the line we missed that it's the United States.
I love Bill Burr, even though he fucks up sometimes, but he's pretty funny. Yeah, you guys have heard me say it before. Everybody fucks up, man. Everybody fucks up. Everybody makes bad decisions. Everybody says stupid shit. Everybody does stupid shit. Don't harm women. Don't harm children. Don't be racist. Don't be homophobic. Like, you can make mistakes. Like, I don't like the Riyadh shit. I think that, in some ways that's 2 degrees away from fucking harming women. So, that's a little too close to the burner for me. I think that Bill shouldn't have done that. But overall, Bill Burr is still one of my favorite people. I still enjoy his comedy. It cracks me up. Like I said, everybody makes bad decisions. There's plenty of shit in my life that I can point to that people would be upset about. No one's perfect, man. And it wouldn't be fun if you were. You'd never learn anything if you weren't perfect. I don't know whether or not he actually thinks he made a mistake or not, but as far as that goes, yeah, I don't agree with him going over there, but I don't agree with everything anybody does.
And that we're all on the same team. And these psychos at the top, they just get everybody all stirred up. This guy's causing riots in American cities. And, there's people trying to get to their apartments and they're getting shot with rubber bullets. And we are so divided because of CNN and Fox News that as long as the bullets are going at the countrymen that are wearing the wrong tie, you somehow don't view them as on your team anymore. And it's a really dangerous time. I have faith, though, that through things like this and social media, because you've seen it's brought down regimes around, the world, that we can get on the same page. But one of the things I hate...
Yeah, and that's kind of like, that's true because... But I'm going to just say this. Private equity companies have already started buying up all the YouTube channels. Like, I think I said this at the beginning of last year, or beginning of this year, or maybe the end of last year. I said there's a window right now of opportunity for people on the internet. There's a window of opportunity for what we term to be independent media, right? Because we've got enough people like myself that have zero ties to any type of corporation. I say what I want. I have a career. I don't need to exist just for YouTube money. I barely make anything off of YouTube at all. But in the greater gist of things, like, that actually in some ways is a good thing because I have no audience capture. I'm not concerned about saying things that people disagree with, just like me saying that, I still like Bill Burr. That's just my opinion. I don't expect everybody to like the same things as I do, and if people don't like the same things as I do, that's okay. But I do think that window is closing, and I said this at that time, is that independent media can only exist for so long before people take notice of it, and then it becomes an issue with your favorite YouTuber getting bought out. Private equity companies are already doing that. I want to say like Astrum, all these bigger like YouTube channels have been already bought by these places. There's I think it's a More Perfect Union video on that if you guys would like to watch it. But I do feel like right now, like, this is our small window of time before big money gets involved in buying up social media, so influencers, independent news, stuff like that. It's eventually going to be few and far between that you can even trust the people that are doing this.
The most people will write things like, I will never forgive people that voted for Trump. And it's just like, well, now you just caused division.
Yeah.
You want to bring them over. You know what I mean? It's like, well, you also just voted for a guy that should have been in a home. You know, he's on a
Yeah, see, and this is where I'll just like 100% disagree, because Bill Burr, all his shtick is being a centrist, right? And like his shtick is always gonna be, you know, like both sides bad kind of thing. And this is where I'll 100% disagree with him. The idea that Joe Biden is as bad as a choice or decision as Donald Trump is not even close. Joe Biden, despite the fact that Joe Biden, as I literally just talked about, looked like he was having a stroke during a debate, he still passed during his time in his administration the PACT Act. He still passed an infrastructure bill, which like no president had done for like 12 years before that. He still passed the most pertinent bipartisan gun laws in over 20 years. He still passed, you know, the act. What was it? I always get his and Trump's mixed up. The SAVE Act or the American Families Act. It's one or the other. Both of them. I tell people all the time, when you want to talk about something that Trump did that was good, I'm like, that's something that he did was good. I thought Operation Warp Speed was a good thing, even though now he denies that he even had a part of it. That just says a lot about his supporters. But to act like what is going on right now in this country as the economy is just absolutely destroyed. We're at war in Iran, and nobody even fucking understands why. Netanyahu literally is leading Donald Trump around by the nutsack wherever he wants him to go. That you can even compare what was going on in Biden's administration to what is going on now is absolute fucking insanity.
on his back porch talking to himself.
I saw a great tweet the other day that said, I wish Joe Biden was alive to see this.
I saw a funny t-shirt. This guy walked around and said, is he dead yet?
Nice. And we know
What's your
what
take?
he's talking about.
When they get...
And like I said, so that's the long and short of it, is that like sometimes people say things that I agree with and sometimes people don't. And like anytime you find yourself just like agreeing with a person nonstop all the time, 24/7, you're in a cult. Like you should check yourself before you fucking wreck yourself. He was forced into warp speed after wasting time, wasn't it? No, I don't 100% agree with that. I'm sure that he's definitely forced into it, doing it because so just going over the timeline of how COVID happened, right? There was like the one person that landed, I think it was in San Francisco, and Trump tried to play it off as though nothing was wrong. Don't worry, everything's fine. In fact, I thought everything was fine at that point. No one knew what COVID was. So I was like, oh, it's over in China. It's not going to make its way over here. My boss was actually super prescient on this and had bought, a 50-gallon drum of alcohol for sanitization. He had already bought masks. He had already bought gloves. He was well ahead of it. And the whole time I was like, you're crazy. I'm like, this is prepper shit. What are you doing? And then, of course, the first person got sick, and I was like, it's fine. It'll be kept to where it is or whatever. And that's where Trump was. And, Trump, over time, obviously with a lot more information on COVID than I had, tended to try to downplay it in the public. And then behind the scenes, there's a bunch of phone calls of him talking about how bad it was going to be. So he knew where it was going. He loves to do this thing right here. Remember this one? This one was a good one.
And then I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do either through the skin or in some other way.
So then he tried to come up with a bunch of, other dumb shit, like injecting bleach and stupid shit like that. And then towards the end of his first term, he needed something to potentially win him the next election. And that was the idea for Operation Warp Speed, which oftentimes, even, in Biden's administration, look, the Chips and Science Act wasn't Biden's idea. In fact, it came from Europe. But I believe Chuck Schumer was the one who pushed it forward, who I despise, but at the same time really like the Chips and Science Act. It was a fucking great policy. But at the end of the day, Donald Trump was a party during his administration to Operation Warp Speed, and it was a success. That's the shitty thing about that is that I watched a bunch of videos on mRNA vaccines and stuff because I was concerned as well. I didn't want to I felt like they were forcing this out I was really concerned because Trump was president and Trump was known for Trump steaks and Trump water and Trump University and all these other failed businesses. And I was like, don't think I want Trump vaccine, which I guarantee you he tried to get it named the Trump vaccine. So I did a bunch of research on mRNA. I did a bunch of research on the scientists that were leading the group of scientists in Trump's administration. I did a bunch of research on the military guy that was the leader at that time. It's so long ago. I'm having a hard time remembering all this stuff. And part of it was, at the time I was working at a grocery store, so I was a frontline employee, and I knew I could get the vaccine before my family, and I knew that I could take it and show, that it was okay and safe to take. And if it wasn't, well, then I'd be the person that gets to show everybody that it wasn't. So, at the end of the day, Operation Warp Speed was a success as far as creating a vaccine. The model of Operation Warp Speed exposed something that I think people should be a lot more upset about. And that is when given financial incentive to come up with things to help people to be healthy or to stay healthy or whatever it is, all of a sudden all these companies got really good at doing it really fast. And I think that people should be a lot angrier about that than they are. I think that the people should be a lot angrier about that. Even the 2 times COVID nearly killed me a year ago. Yeah, I had COVID and it was not great. I did not do good. My throat closed up really bad, but I was just a big baby. I wasn't going to die from it or anything like that. Like, I'm healthy enough and I don't smoke. I haven't smoked herb in years. I drink, but I lift weights. I eat pretty healthy. I've always been pretty athletic. My job at that time was pretty physical. So even with all that being said, I got my throat just like completely closed up, and I was such a big baby. I was doing the teledoc thing where I had the phone, and I'm talking to my doctor, and I'm like, okay, but my throat really hurts. He's like, all right, we'll get you some stuff for your throat, bud. And I'm like, please help me. I had a friend not healthy, died from COVID. Oh, I'm sorry. Almost all of us know somebody, right? My sister-in-law was one of the very first people to get it before the vaccine came out, and she was in a coma for 3 months. She was in a medically induced coma on a ventilator for 3 months, and I think she went in and she had, what is it? What do they call it? Unilateral or not unilateral? Bilateral pneumonia. So she had pneumonia at the same time, and yeah, she almost died. She still has tons of side effects from having COVID years later. She didn't have the vaccine wasn't out when she got it. So yeah, my wife, who had just barely met her as she was her estranged sister, it was a very emotional time for her because over and over we were concerned that she was gonna die, and luckily she got through it, but a lot of people didn't. And that's it's very sad that there's a couple things to learn from COVID. One, economically we fucked future generations, and Trump is just finishing the job now, but I mean, economically speaking, we did the moral thing. We did the right thing. And that was, taking care of those around us that were immunocompromised and the elderly. And that was the right thing, in my opinion, to do. Even knowing that this is the results of it, we definitely went in debt as far as the economy for future generations. And actually, Biden and his administration had done a pretty good job of righting the ship and getting us back to a place where we were well ahead of the Chinese economy. And then Trump came in and said, no, I can't allow anything that Biden did to ever be good. And so I'm going to start a fucking ridiculous war in Iran that no one wants, and shut down the Strait of Hormuz, which literally every president that has ever been the president was like, that's a bad idea. But the other thing, that you take from it is that, we did, keep a bunch of people safe. And I think that was important. And I think morally that was the right thing to do. That's just my opinion. I know a lot of people will disagree on me with that. Let's see. You felt like a semi when it hit you? Yeah. Physics girl has had it she has been in bed for years. Yikes. Yeah, it is not fun. Not fun. Yeah, a dozen folks that are not here that were unvaxxed, and hundreds that are here that are still vaxxed. Yeah. Yeah, vaccines work. I mean, people can fucking get deep on conspiracy theories all they want. Like I said, there's a percentage of people that are going to have adverse reactions. There's going to be a percentage of people that, potentially are going to get life-threatening reactions to it. But you work off statistics. You work off what is the greater good. And, at the time, going to work and knowing that people around me had immunocompromised family members, that they had elderly family members that they were taking care of. I thought that at the time, one of my best friends had his daughter has cystic fibrosis. There was no way that I was putting her life in jeopardy. Like, that's the end of it right there. Is that the risk to me at that time and still is to this day was incredibly low, and the risk to what could happen to her if she got COVID from me was incredibly high. And you make decisions based off of those things, and I chose to get the vaccine, and it was the right thing to do. Let's see. Although, yeah, getting out of the house. Yeah, like I said, there's definitely effects that were not great that had nothing to do with the vaccine, and that was higher rates of drug and alcohol use, higher rates of people opting out of life. Not a lot of people dealt with it well, a lot of people did not deal with it well. And that's really, really unfortunate, and that should never be, smoothed over or forgotten. There's always negatives to every situation. There's positives and there's negatives. So I just want to watch this video. It came out 2 days ago, but I wanted to watch it. I don't even know what it is, but I've talked about the Trump mobile phone, and I wanted to watch this because it seems like it's about time that we revisited the Trump mobile phone, guys.
I love Tesla.
Okay, here we go. So this is, I think it's an NBC, MS Now maybe, report on the Trump phone. I just wanted to watch this, and then we'll call it a night.
Today, we're here to introduce Trump
off.
Mobile.
It was an ambitious promise.
We're going to be manufacturing the phones.
A phone at $499 made entirely right here in the U.S. We wanted to see if that claim was legit.
Oh, spoiler alert. It was not.
Thank you for your order, Brian Chung. Placing an order ourselves and waiting for months. Here we are in May of 2026, and there appears to be no sign of it until last.
You guys love how they started reporting that nobody was getting their Trump phones, and then all of a sudden they're like, we're sending them out. Like, they legit probably went somewhere and bought a bunch of cheap ass phones as soon as they saw the news reports that people were calling them out on it, and then just started sending them. Did you guys see that somebody that bought one of the Trump watches, it says Trump in big red letters across the watch? They forgot the T, and it just says rump. And it's like a $400 watch.
Last month, when Trump Mobile sent us a device they said was going out to some members of the media. There's a Truth Social preloaded onto the phone. Aside from that gold yellowish back, the phone appeared to resemble the U24 Pro, an Android phone made by Taiwanese company HTC.
It looks very similar. It has a very distinct shape.
Yeah, that does look really similar. To confirm that, we headed to iFixit's offices in San Luis Obispo, California, where lead teardown engineer Shahram Mukhtari offered to help us run some tests, including through a modified CT scanner.
Let's unlatch it.
Okay, cool. Okay, so there it is. Which gave us an inside look at the T1 phone's guts, which looked eerily similar to a scan that iFixit ran for the HTC phone.
Without cheesing, tell me which one's which.
Oh, dude.
Wow, they look so similar. The left image, the HTC. The T1 on the right, the battery.
Yeah, making it in the US would have been so expensive, dude. Like people like, at the end of the day, Trump supporters, they do not exist in the same reality. Like, if you made it in America, do you know how much that phone would cost? Like, brother, this is not something that like even makes sense, even like in any reality. It's absolutely insane.
Cameras, boards, mostly in the exact same place, with the exception of the flash. But Mokhtari and I wanted to take an even closer look with the help of an industrial-grade microscope to see the pixels in the T1 screen.
This is a pentile layout, and it's in Samsung's patented diamond layouts in particular. Definitely not made in the United States as far as I know.
The same design seen in the HTC that iFixit ran under the same microscope. One more check to do.
They just will never watch this, right? Like, they'll never watch this shit and just tell themselves it's totally made in the USA. Totally made in the USA. Oh, dude.
Open.
We're really going to test to see if
it has an earphone jack, though. That's true. Like, so that makes it better than an iPhone, right? Right?
This is truly just an HTC U24 Pro reskin for Trump Mobile. First off, I should remark that I literally see the word the Philippines.
Breaking it down piece by piece, confirming that the parts are nearly identical to the HTC U24 Pro.
The three cameras, as you point out, are in the exact same place.
They're in the exact same spots.
The boards are the same.
Bro, it's the same phone. They're just like, they're drawing this out. They're just drawing it out longer and longer. So you just have to you have to sit with the fact that this shit it's the same phone. Like the thing with it, they saw it says it's from the Philippines in it. It's like when you point out to a Trump supporter that the hat or the shirt they're wearing was made in China. And they're just like, oh yeah, oh, it is.
Fords are going to be exactly the same, yeah.
iFixit confirming that its parts are very much not American, as Trump Mobile originally promised.
Does it look like this is a made in the USA phone?
It's unlikely. Ultimately, you won't know unless you go to the factories, but this is a Chinese phone. Everything we've seen suggests that the T1 was manufactured in the same factory.
The phone, initially marketed as made in the USA, now advertised as assembled in the USA. Following our tests, HTC did not respond to our request for comment.
Dude, how much money are you bet that's not even true? I bet you money that even that isn't true. That is hilarious.
Trump Mobile did not respond to questions about the similarities or about what part of the T1's assembly is done here in the US. But our scans and teardown confirming these phones are the same, as punctuated by one final test.
We're putting the HTC components in here.
Yes, making a Frankenstein phone to prove that the phones are made of the same pieces.
I'm holding the button, and now it says HTC. This is so funny. A photo on the T1 phone with the HTC U24 Pro board in there.
That's amazing.
And it tells you that these boards are exactly the same, that they're fully compatible with all the components, which means they came out of the same factory by the same designer.
No difference.
No difference.
It was conceptualized in the USA. We had a concept of it being made in the USA. Bro, oh my god.
I love Tesla.
Brian Chung literally cracking the case and then taking a selfie to prove it.
Nerd joke.
I mean, was that a surprise or just feeling those two phones? Did you know what you were going to find?
Yeah, well, again, when we first received the phone, we were only among a handful of outlets that actually did get them. We were kind of on the cusp of figuring out what this was. We figured it was the HTC U24 Pro based off of the dimensions, the specs, the size. iFixit helped us identify that, but it wasn't until we actually went there and tore it open where we could see what was inside that we were able to definitively determine that. And I should point out that we only got this phone because we are the media. We did have an order put in on behalf of NBC News that has still yet to be fulfilled, implying that the customers that in earnest ordered one haven't received them yet. But I should point out we did put the phone back together. I do have the T1 phone in my hand right here. It is fully functional, so it's not like you can't.
Bro, Trump is their entire personality. Ugh. Like, dude, I'm trying to think. Do I own anything that has like another man's name on it? I'm looking around. Yeah, I have a jersey. I have football jerseys. I have one with my name. I have a football jersey with my name on it. Jesus Christ, your entire personality is this dude. You got hats, you got shirts, you got phones, you got shoes, you got watches, you got Bibles. What? Oh my God, dude.
I love the poorly educated.
And after you tear it down, put it back together, the very smart folks over at iFix were able to do that. So,
are you making calls on it?
I could call you right now.
Can I text you?
Yeah, what's your number, Gotti? Let me shoot you the text from my T1.
Here, hold on. Hey, I'm gonna sneak text you here. I'm not gonna put my number out. Actually, why don't you put your Trump number out there? And then I'll call you.
I'll see it. Full screen up there of the number.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the big question that I have is how many of these are they actually gonna sell? Do we know what sales have been like?
Yeah, Trump Mobile did not respond to our questions about how many orders were placed. But I should point out, interestingly, a YouTuber pointed out that there was a serious security vulnerability on the website, which I was able to confirm.
Oh, he's talking about CoffeeZilla.
Through a source. That was actually a serious situation where about tens of thousands of account numbers were leaked. Again, I can't say if that's the exact number of how many orders there were, and it does seem like, according to the sources that I spoke with, that security issue has been patched. But that just adds salt to the wound of people that were trying to order one of these, that they may have potentially had their data compromised as well.
That's a whole different story that we should check back with you on. Brian Chung, I mean, incredible reporting all around. The big board, now this story,
good in that photo.
That epic picture. Oh, yeah. but, I mean, the photo quality is pretty good, no matter where it's from. Brian Chung, thank you so very much.
Dude. I like how you said, like, that's a whole different story. Like, the Trump administration, it never stops, man. There's always something that you're like, oh, look, another scam. Another scam. All right, that's about it for me. I appreciate you guys. We'll see. We'll probably be on again here sometime soon. But if you haven't seen it, go check out my video over on the Angry Ginger Funny Live clips that I did on the Jordan Klepper's 250. Jordan Klepper went and did a 250 thing. So go check out my video over there for me. And drop a comment, like it, share it. Join the Angry Ginger Army. Only $3. It's better than Netflix. You don't have to do any of the work. I just provide all the entertainment. Way better than Netflix. All right, guys. I'll talk to you guys when I talk to you. Oh, can I find the button? No.